Do you want me to come, Fran?
I'm coming, Fran. I'm coming.
For fuck's sake!
Look, Bennett, look, Bennett.
Hello,
Fran?
and welcome to episode 86 of the Chronicles of Nidum, run by us, Dice of the Beholder, and streamed on, he's going to kick us off at some point, Heavyweight RPG. Before we get into tonight's episode, as always, a word about our sponsors. First and foremost, the sponsor of all of Dice of the Beholder and some of Heavyweight RPG's D&D content is Loki Battle Mats, an award-winning UK-based TTRPG accessory creator. There are many books of battle maps, little, big, giant sizes, and their modular book sets provide an amazing art drop, amazing background, backdrop to any tabletop game. I was doing so well. If you are interested in finding out more, please search Loki Battlemat, L-O-K-E, on Facebook, Twitter, or most social media, or visit lokibattlemats.com to view their amazing artwork and shop their physical maps, and Drive Through RPG to shop their digital ones. Second sponsor, friends of the channel and us, are Blink Dog Dice. Small dice maker based in Cardiff. You can see amazing examples of their work available on their Etsy store. Search for Blink Dog Dice, which is all one word, on all social media, and that goes for their Etsy as well. Go show them some love and tell them we sent you. Lastly, not a sponsor, but Sirenscape provide the amazing ambience for our streams, and they can for your games as well. There is a wonderful, very easy to use tool set you can find on sirenscape.com, S-Y-R-I-N. Go try it out. It is awesome. You need to use it because epic games need epic sound. Is that better, Greg? Bit more energy?
What?
Bit more energy?
That was a power move.
That was a strong power move. I love that. His face, he looks devastated.
Say hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Oh, the dog's come over.
Definitely not in the middle of eating.
Go back to bed.
Before we get into it, actually, yes, a little bit for those who aren't on our Discord. I don't think there is anyone, but for those who aren't on our Discord and don't, or our Twitter or Facebook and don't already know, if you want to go back and start the journey again with us, you can now do so in podcast format. You can find it on Spotify or Anchor. You can search Dice of the Beholder, and episode 1 to 14 are currently uploaded. There is a sound glitch on episode 1 right in the middle of it, which I will fix very, very soon, because I had to re-download the episode again, and it took me another couple of hours, which annoyed the crap out of me. I will fix it. But yes, pop over to Spotify, type in Dice of the Beholder, and start the journey with us again. Or, if you want to, type in Heavyweight RPG, and you can find the first and soon to be the second episode of the other campaign that Millie and I play in, When Glory Is Not Enough, being run by Heavyweight himself.
And the new podcast will go up on Monday, which is the same day it streams live for When Glory Is Not Enough. And everything else will also be going onto Spotify, including Carbon, Fables, the Pathfinder stuff. Am I missing anything?
No.
Probably.
No,
No,
you're
I
right.
think it's everything. All of that will be going up. The backlog will be going up sporadically, and then it will be going up as the new episodes stream moving forward.
Same. Dice of the Beholder, it'll go up as and when I get the time until we catch up, and then it will go up a week after we are live.
Exactly.
But yes. So, D&D.
How play?
Greg's here. Don't know why. He's gone.
Yeah, Quill fucked off on some sort of pilgrimage.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh god, is six? Is Sepsis coming back?
No.
That'd be so cool. Just one session, a one shot for sepsis.
No.
Hello.
I will release the character
I'm
sheet.
back.
I will release the character sheet to you now, Greg.
Yeah, I think you just
I-
muted
I-
yourself
I-
to talk.
Yeah.
I don't even want to see it.
Okay. But yeah. So, last time on the Chronicles of Nidum, having been informed there was a party to be held in your honour that evening. you took it upon yourselves to get ready. Oriana spending a great deal of time with Guinevere.
Getting ready.
Yeah, being good friends. Holding hands and being good friends.
We were roommates.
Yeah.
Just gals being pals.
Mm-hmm.
They were breast friends. Yep, that'll do.
Breast
I'm
friends,
going to
that's
stop
the
there.
best way to describe
Breast
it. We are
friends.
Breast friends. Yep.
You were then called through arcane means, through the updated sending stones given to you by Natasha, into a almost psychic meeting of what was to be apparently the new council of the Empire, as the abdicated prince, now the only one left in charge, was giving up most of their power in favour of many people making the decisions instead of one. Having been informed then of more of the problems being caused in the Empire and outside the Empire by the destruction of the Crystal Heart, you were tasked, gladly, with becoming a diplomatic envoy to Gracia, as you were travelling there anyway. And after pledging at least your friendship to this new empire, you then relayed all of this information to Quill, who had finally made his way back from his minor anxiety attack in the woods. It was then that evening, after speaking to your aunt Quill and managing to ingratiate the two elven visitors to Toulouse into the society of the town, Quill decided that upon the dawn he would leave with his aunt and the rest of them, effectively splitting the party for parts unknown, possibly never seeing his friends again. And so, you all elected to spend the rest of the day. I don't know whether it matters, because I don't think you've done anything. Have you all had long rests?
I can take one. I don't think I need one, but... Oh, yeah, I did ascending, so I'm just going to go get that back.
Okay, cool.
I don't think I need one, but you know, if Dice has a long rest, Dice has a long rest, and that's just how we do.
Cool. So, you elected to spend the rest of the day then helping out around the town. And this is where we find you. You slotted yourself into society well, being the guests of the patron of Toulouse. You were allowed to help. Dice, you wandered around having a look and thinking up quite a few improvements for the technology they used in the process of making the wine. Ace, you were allowed then space to work and showing techniques not seen in the Empire in quite a while, taught to you by your father, managed to impress a lot of the smiths around the smithing quarter. Oriana, you very quickly, or very early on during the day, were followed around by a lot of the children of the town. Their pestering became quite annoying, but eventually you were, like the Pied Piper, leading a large horde, almost, of small children wandering around after you. All of them in Shalem singing. Now, you can't quite speak Shalem, Oriana.
Nope.
What? Roll me an intelligence check, please.
Oh, great. That's a 6.
Okay. You cannot quite work out exactly what they're saying. However, you do catch your name. And you do catch Guinevere's name. And it does have a very familiar rhythm, very familiar tune. Until eventually...
I catch the word tree by any chance.
Until eventually you are pretty sure it is Oriana and Guinevere sitting in a tree in Shalem.
Sweet.
However, you do manage then to, unaccompanied by the children, as they are not allowed in, find that over the past couple of days, the airship has been repainted. It does look a little bit more scuffed and worn, though as you pay a little closer attention, you do notice that the scuffs are a paint job. The wood is untarnished. The entire ship is unharmed. It just looks like it's seen its fair share of air or sea battles. But you spend the rest of the day, all of you, helping out, wandering around, meeting people, until eventually the long, hard day turns into night. And with a strange, as you all make your ways into your bedchambers, with a strange, maybe longing, some melancholy, a bit of loss as you look at the one bedroom that no one is entering. Give your thoughts to Quill on their journey and go to bed.
And they do.
Okay. I would like everyone to roll me in bed a perception check with disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
I was going to say surely with disadvantage.
Do you actually want me to go upstairs and do this? Because you did specify in bed, but that seems like a long way to roll.
I mean, I've just got to go over there.
Yeah, I just got
True.
to lean back a
But
bit.
you guys are fine, but I'm in the lounge. I'll go and roll in bed if you really want. Wait, never mind. Rolly. Oh, with disadvantage, fuck. Oh no! I rolled an 18 and a 1.
Got 11.
Nice.
I'm just glad it's a double digit.
Yeah, same.
I used one of the re-rolls we had left over from AD's campaign last week. I'm joking.
Okay, sorry. Can you reconfirm those for me? Oriana?
11.
Dice?
Oh god, well it was a natural one, Rich, so it
Ace.
was in total.
13.
Hang on. 7.
13, Ace.
Yes.
Okay. And give me a second. Where's your... There we go. Right. So, none of you, unfortunately, notice that your room's cool. None of you notice ice-like fingers creeping up over the bed sheets. And none of you notice until the sharp pain strikes each of your bodies as you lay in bed. The 3 shadow assassins that have manifested in your room. I would like everyone to roll initiative while I determine damage, please.
It's not how
Hey?
Reese likes to wake up. It's not a look.
Initiative, huh? Okay. You do. Excuse the burps, I ate mozzarella sticks and they make me very bad.
Oh yeah, lactose.
Yeah, I don't regret it though.
With that, like,
No one with
toast.
lactose intolerance does.
I did take lactase before I ate them, so
I
it's
have
not a bad
watched
thing.
roll around on my floor in agony, just sighing no regrets
when
after
I
eating
had-
ice cream.
That was when I had the big brain sad though, and I was just like, I'm just gonna eat whatever I want.
Yeah, but not on my floor. Take your
I
self-harm
haven't
eating
had a reaction like
lactose
that in a
somewhere
while.
else.
So
And it was
lactose.
a very long time ago.
It was a very long time ago. It was when we were in uni.
Yeah. it's like
Lactose-free
over
ice
20
cream's
years
not
ago
bad.
now.
The hilarity of ringing your mum going, Em is really not well.
Em can't drive.
Ace.
Why is Em not well? Em ate lactose a
Yeah.
lot.
Ace, what is your initiative, please?
11.
11. Dice?
13.
Oriana?
9.
9.
9!
Okay.
I'm asleep. I'm still asleep.
Yeah, Oriana's like, huh?
Just
Okay.
that cold touch has just turned into a dirty dream for her.
As you wake then, staring down at the blades that have been plunged into you, there is standing over each of your forms
Rude.
a shadowy figure, almost insubstantial. Even as they then withdraw the dagger, you can see the dagger turn into wisps as it disappears before they rear back, holding then an almost solid shadow in their hand. You each take 14 piercing damage. And there we go, 6, 12, 17 times 2, 34 necrotic damage.
Okay.
Mill, you are resistant.
Yes.
Necrotic, or do I not?
Give me a second.
I'm never clear on what it means by resistance all.
You're muted, Greg.
You're resistant to all damage from spells.
This
Yes,
isn't a
this
spell.
is not a spell.
Okay, that's fine.
I would also
So great.
like
Hang on, how much damage did I take?
17
Oh.
points of necrotic damage.
Thank you.
Oh, 17, sorry.
No.
No, you
Lily.
took 30. I'm resistant.
I took
Necrotic.
34.
Yeah.
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 That's what I was
Ace.
confused.
Ace, I would like you to click on your strength score now that
Yeah.
you've been hit by this dagger.
Strength score.
Yeah.
Okay.
And reduce it by 2.
So where it says plus 13, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh. There we go. Cool.
Oriana.
Hello. What?
Yeah, if you just click on it, it just rolls a dice. You can't edit it in there.
No.
But just remember that it's been reduced by 2.
Oriana,
Mhm.
you could reduce yours by 2.
Oh, sweet. That's -2.
And Dice, if you could reduce yours by 3, please.
Why 3?
Because it's 1d4 and I rolled
Because
them all
fuck you, that's
separately.
why.
Because fuck me, that's why, yes. Reduce my strength
is +0, so it's -2.
Okay. And give me a second.
No. Your +0, it was 10. So dropping it by 2 would make it 8, which would give you a -1 on strength checks.
I'm just going to say -2. It's not like I use strength for anything.
I mean, I do.
Yeah, I don't. So, meh.
To be fair, it's only going from 13 to 11, so.
Last week was the first time I did a strength check, and it was to carry someone upstairs.
It was, yeah.
So I've just you can override your score on the website. Oh no, mine's now -2. You might be right, actually. I apologise. But if you go actually onto the website and you click the little circle underneath it, not the square with the minus number in it, or plus the number, then you can do it on there. And now I have a solid -2 to my strength checks.
Excellent.
The little circle underneath, if you edit it on the website, though, not on the app.
I am on the website.
Yeah, I'm on the website.
Okay.
Oh, override score, I see.
Yeah.
I can't see it.
It's okay.
So,
Now -5? Makes sense.
I'll just remember, it's fun.
as you come to full waking, we are in initiative, and unfortunately, all of your initiatives suck.
Yeah.
So,
Where's Quill?
Quill left at the right time. That is going to be a... First things first, then, we're going to have one attempt to strike. Oh, wait. We're going to have one attempt to strike Ace.
Okay.
That is going to be an 18.
Does not hit.
On the second attack, that's going to be a 20.
Does not hit.
Excellent. Okay. So the shadow dagger passes. It looks as if it passes straight into your armor, but unfortunately just you don't feel the piercing pain when you felt it at first. It seems like your armor is just... Oh, shit. No. Would you be sleeping in your armor, Ace?
I mean, Ace.
It's Ace.
No, I don't think they would. So maybe my armor class isn't 21.
Yeah, you need to take your armor off.
How do?
Inventory.
So many people spoke at the same time.
Just unequip it and untick the little thing next to it.
Yeah. Go into it now. Give me a second. Yeah, so what was the first one again?
The first one was an 18.
Yeah, both hit then.
Yeah, both hit. Okay. So, from the first strike, you take 8 points of piercing damage.
Mm-hmm.
You take... There we go. 4 points of necrotic damage.
Yeah.
And your strength is further reduced by 1.
Okay, so it's a -2.
Okay. And the next strike is against Dice.
I do sleep in my armor.
Yeah,
You
your
absolutely do.
My armor's liquid.
Well,
I'll take mine. I'll take mine off as well. To be fair, even though it's leather studded.
You're not going to sleep in leather
You're not
armor.
gonna sleep in leather stud, are you?
the first hit on you, Dice, is a 24.
Yeah, that hits.
The second is an 18.
No, doesn't hit.
Okay. So, first strike, 8 points of damage.
Yeah.
8 points of piercing and 10 points of necrotic, reduced to 5.
Yeah.
But you do have your strength score reduced by 4.
Why are you trying to fuck me up here, Bri? What happens if my strength gets to 0? What do I do then?
You die.
Well, that's a problem. I'm not
What's your
that
strength
strong.
now?
I'll tell you in a second. Once I should have just carried on using the website instead of the app. It would have been. My strength's 3. I've got 3 left.
So, just to double check with strength, what are we reducing? The big number that has like the +0 next to it, or
Yeah.
right? So mine is -2 at the moment.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, mine's now -4, but I've only got 3 strength left. I am weak as fuck now.
Because when you said about editing it, I don't know
Sorry,
what I'm supposed to be
it's-
changing
sorry.
to it to work.
It's not the one with the plus next to it. It's the other
The one underneath.
Yeah, it's
A
your
little circle.
it's your strength
Well,
score.
on the website, what am I changing on here?
So I don't know if this will work, but I'm going to try. If you click the little circle
Yeah.
at the bottom, it gives you the option to override, and there's an override score
Override score.
here.
So just put
My
two,
message.
-2 in there.
No, just change it to whatever your normal score is. -2.
Yeah.
So mine
Right.
now is 3.
So mine would be 9.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay. And
Sake.
second strike missed. So,
Good. Frankly,
Oriana.
Fuck me up, bro.
First strike.
I'm after the squishy one.
First strike is a 14.
That is my armor class.
Okay. Anything you want to do?
I mean, I can hellish rebuke. Well, did he hit? Is 40, if you hit my armor class, is that a hit?
Yeah.
So I can hellish rebuke.
but you can shield, can't you? To stop the hit hitting you.
I mean, I could. Probably should. Yeah, alright, I cast shield.
Cool. So that increases your armor class by 4.
So it's 18, yeah.
Awesome. The second hit is a 17, which also then misses because the shield
Yes.
is still up. Okay.
Which means I can't hellish rebuke either.
But you'll live.
I will live.
Okay. Dice. You're up.
Yeah, hi. Okay, I want from this particular fuck nugget. I'd like a wisdom saving throw, please.
Wisdom save. Okay. That is going to be an 11.
Yes! I cast Hypnotic Pattern.
Okay, cool.
You know how Hypnotic Pattern works. It's concentration for up to a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I am hoping to start binding this guy on my next turn. That's my plan. But very carefully so I don't jolt or shake him awake. We've done it before with a dex check. So
Cool.
I'm hoping you'll let me. But that's the end of my turn for now, is that I've stopped him hitting me.
What is the effect that the hypnotic pattern has?
Charmed. Essentially.
The target is charmed, yeah?
Yeah, while
Cool.
charmed, they're incapacitated and have a speed of 0.
Okay, cool.
The spell ends if they take any damage or someone else uses an action to shake the creature out of its stupor.
Okay. Ace.
They don't save again.
Ace, you're up.
Okay. I'm going to grab the hammer, which will be resting next to the bed,
Mm-hmm.
and cast Branding Smite at 3rd level.
Branding Smite at 3rd level. Okay.
And that is going to be... it says 6 on that, so it's 3d6, isn't it? But then I get... I'm using the hammer. Using Thunderstrike, so that's 1d8, 10. So that's 11 damage from Thunderstrike with the 6 radiant damage for Branding Smite. So I'll roll for hit. Yeah, so 13 plus 15 on that.
Okay.
28 to hit.
28 to hit, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. A 28 definitely hits.
Yeah.
Roll for damage.
Yeah, so I've already I did it
sorry.
backwards. I rolled for damage, so it's 6 radiant damage.
6 radiant. As
yeah.
the radiant energy explodes from the hammer, you see some of the shadow begin to burn away. The radiant energy you've used previously has never had this kind of effect. You understand the target may be vulnerable to radiant damage.
Thought it might be. But he also gets 11 damage from just the hammer as well.
Okay.
I'm
And
guessing necrotic damage isn't going to do
I
much
get-
for these.
I can't remember if I get 1d6 of the electric damage as well.
you can,
Yeah?
yes.
Cool. So I'm going to test that out on this. I've only done 1 on that, so
Okay.
let's see if it does anything to him.
You also get an additional 1d8 radiant damage because you've improved Divine Smite.
Oh yeah. So that's 2 on the d8.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
And that's another 1 point of damage. Awesome. Starting to look hurt. The shadow in
Okay.
front of you is starting to lose form.
Did grabbing my hammer count as movement, or can I do any movement?
No, drawing a weapon is part of your action. You do have 2 attacks per action, by the way.
Okay. Then I will. I think I'll hit again with. Let's see.
You can't cast a spell this time, but you can just hit.
No, I was going to say I'll hit again with the hammer. So I'll do that now. So that'll be. Just rolling the damage so I remember. Oh, Jesus, dropping my dice. Okay, right. So 14 plus 15 to hit, so it'd be 29.
29 definitely hits.
Yeah. And that is 15 damage from Thunderstrike.
15 damage from Thunderstrike. How much of that is radiant?
None of it, isn't it?
There's a D8. You get improved divine smites. You get a D8.
Oh yeah. 6 of that.
6 of that is radiant.
No,
Okay.
six additional because I haven't rolled a D8 with that. That was Sorry, I'm reading it wrong. That was five. Sorry, from the D8.
That's cool.
Yeah.
There we go. It is now looking messed up.
Noish.
Instead of feeling the resistance of the first strike as your hammer hit, the second strike starts to pass through it with much more ease. You seem to be taking chunks out of it, almost cutting through the shadow with your hammer as it burns away at your touch.
And can I make movement, did you say?
You can move if you wish.
Okay, I'm going to just move to grab... I'd assume my shield is nearby as well. Like,
yes.
Ace wouldn't put them too far away.
No, you can pop your shield on, giving you that +2 to your AC.
I'll pop the shield on because popping on a piece of armor is not really something that is easily done.
No, grabbing the shield, I'll give that to you as a free action. You're just picking something up. That's fine. Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Next up, we've got Oriana.
Yay!
The shadow stands above you and curses, and another shadow blade appears in its hand as Guinevere now stirs awake, and it looks as if it's going to lunge for her as well.
Well, it needs to do a wisdom saving throw first.
Wisdom save, okay. Wisdom saving throw, that's going to be a 15.
It fails. And I cast Fear, but I've cast it with the Crown of Asmodeus, and it's over 3rd level, so excuse me a second.
Okay.
That is a 16 on my DC 16.
Nice.
So the crown doesn't kill me.
Nope, you're fine.
It is frightened.
It is, well, as you use the crown then, and the energy explodes out from it, and strikes the shadow form in front of you, it does not falter, move, or in any way show that it is frightened of you.
This is a thing. It's each creature in a 30-foot cone.
Mm-hmm.
So if any of the others are in that cone as well, they need to make a DC wisdom saving throw.
It is blocked by a wall.
Okay. Just in case, because we haven't got a battle map open, so...
You do.
Is it?
Oh, it's not on the stream. I apologise.
I didn't know
There's
we had a battle map.
always one goddamn thing I forget. There we go. As you have now all taken your turn, you notice coming to full wakefulness and working out where everyone is, where the rooms of your friends are, how far away they are, hearing them fight as well. As you look out of the doors of your room, you can pretty much all see a black-garbed elf, unfamiliar to you, apart from the Inquisition robes he is wearing, as he holds his hands up, and he seems to be as if he's conducting an orchestra.
So that fear spell didn't work,
The fear spell did not work.
even though it failed a wisdom saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
That's so much bullshit.
Because unfortunately, shadow assassins are immune to fear.
Great.
Not immune to dying though, so that's fine.
Is that
That's
the end of your
fine.
go?
No, I'm gonna give bardic inspiration to whoever stood next to me. Or sleeping next to me.
That is Guinevere.
Well, Guinevere gets bardic inspiration.
Okay. So, as it comes back then to the top of the round,
Do I get Hellish Rebuke off that surprise attack?
no,
That
well,
should have been.
because it was a surprise.
He still hit me though.
But let's say you were a bit too tired to use your reaction. As you see the
Okay.
shadows in front of you begin to move to strike again, the shadow, especially Oriana, in front of you, moving to strike both you and Guinevere. Guinevere being much less hardy than an adventurer like you and your friends. I want everyone to roll me a perception check.
Oh, because that's gone well. Oh, that's better.
It's not yet.
18.
18.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I had a 12.
18.
At least casting fear didn't use a spell slot.
As you begin to prepare yourself for the attack that you know is coming, you notice off in the distance, and it's strange this late at night with the darkness all around you, a very deep, rumbling moo. And you also notice out the door in the shadows, behind this necromancer conducting these shadow assassins in front of you, the glint of armor. And you notice the click of an unfamiliar weapon. Greg,
Hello.
I would like you to use a full surprise round, however you see fit. I will.
where am I
I
on
will
this
give
map?
you a. I will give you a mini.
I'll give you a mini.
What a weird offer.
I think you'll find I'm the one who's given you a mini, babe.
You don't feel mini anymore.
So there's that's not what I was talking about.
I know.
So it's just this person in the middle here who's aggressive, is it? All the others are.
That's all you can see at the moment. Yes.
Okay.
You can hear the sounds of battle and the struggle from the other rooms, but this is the closest guy to you.
Yeah. In that case, I will withdraw the pepper box, and I will take aim and fire at this guy because he doesn't know I'm here. Am I firing with advantage
You
here?
absolutely are.
That's good news. Shot number 1. That is 21 to hit.
21 definitely hits.
I'll roll all the attacks and then.
Cool.
Shot number 2 is a 29 to hit.
29 definitely hits.
I am going to. I'm going to go straight in and burn a. What's it called? I've forgotten the name of it. Action Surge, that's the one.
Cool.
To fire 2 more times.
Cool.
That one is a 17 to hit.
17 definitely hits.
Cool. And
His armor class is 15, by the way.
26, so that hits as well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that will do. Oh no, sorry. I can. I'm going to make one as a bonus action as well because I can do that as a war priest.
You absolutely can.
Yeah, that's 25, so that's a hit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all 5 shots hit.
Cool.
Which is
What's the reload in the pepper box? Is it 5 or 6?
6.
6.
6.
Okay.
It's a 6-shooter.
Cool.
You know, of course it is. So let's see what we're going to do here. Just mark that I've used my action surge. Yeah, that's fine. And then so that's 1d10 per hit. So first hit is 12 damage.
Sorry, 12?
12, yeah.
Okay.
Next one's 14,
Okay.
13,
Okay.
7.
Okay.
And the last one is just 5.
How would you like to do this?
Well, I guess silhouetted in the doorway you see a figure walk up. It's a sort of wide-brimmed hat and a large sort of like mane. Tall man, about 6'8", and he's wearing this long flowing coat which he brushes aside to draw a pistol from his hip. Just takes aim, fires 5 shots in quick succession, replaces the pistol at his hip, like without ever stopping the movement. It's just one whole movement, and stands there in the billowing smoke as the shadow assassin collapses.
Important question.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have a hat?
Oh yeah, a very big, wide-brimmed, like Cad Bane hat.
Okay.
You didn't even know who that was a couple of weeks ago.
Call me out.
No.
As you hear
Big Alucard vibes.
these, as you all hear then these 5 loud shots, explosions in the quiet of the evening, and you see some kind of projectile begin to pepper and hurt the Inquisitor that is standing in the hall outside. The shadows before you begin to falter. And as the body in the hallway, or what is now the body in the hallway, hits the ground, unmoving, the shadows also completely disappear. And we are out of initiative.
I'm going to immediately get dressed.
Ace is going to hastily put on as much of their armour that they can muster in a short time and head out to check everyone's okay.
The Reverend's just gonna turn away from the door to give Oriana some privacy. Just pardon me.
No, that's okay. Who are you?
Yeah, I would like to know that too, please.
Hi.
Adjusting herself.
Folks call me the Reverend.
Is that your name?
As good as any.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I'll just start reloading the pepper box while I
What is that?
back to the door. This here, this is a little weapon of my own invention. I don't use it too much these days, but mighty glad I brought it with me.
It's an impressive weapon.
I don't find weapons that impressive, ma'am.
I look at Oriana and
I
go,
don't,
ma'am.
Not from around near here at all, are you?
Well, no, I'm from Gracia originally. I come from, well, today I've come down from the mountains. Something told me this was the right place for me to be, and it looks like that something was right, doesn't it?
At this point, Ace is skidded into the hallway. I say so.
Can I just ask how you ended up in here today? Hi.
Well,
I'm leaning on the door, like.
Came here by cart. My good old friend.
As he says this, there is a crashing sound, and one of the doors, or the door opposite the one that the Reverend entered through, and leads to one of the other grand sweeping staircases that goes down into the centre, is caved in. And you all whirl battle ready to face this new threat. And there is, in the doorway, a massive bull.
Whoa there, Festion.
An albino bull, I believe, Reverend?
Yep. Yeah, pure white.
A huge, pure white, almost glowing in the darkness. Pure white albino bull. And there is a crashing sound behind it because he's still attached to quite a large cart, which he has dragged up the stairs behind him.
What?
He has a sort of like a white leather saddle with golden scroll work all over it, and like what
It's
would
very
appear to be
Catholic.
platinum hooves. Platinum, not hooves, platinum shoes on his hooves.
Ariana heads over to it. What did you say his name was again? Sorry.
Hephaestion?
Hephaestion.
Yeah, like Hephaestus, you know, the god.
That's wow. Can I pet him?
Please, ma'am, he'd be mighty appreciative.
Gwen, there's a bull in your house.
Well, he don't want to bother nobody. He was just worried about me.
He says he's big.
He's yep, and well, this here is my best friend.
He's
He and I
gorgeous.
been together damn since the day I was born.
I missed what race the Reverend is. I'm sorry.
Leonin. He's a big old lion man.
Yeah, as you look at him, he bears a lot of similar traits to Quill or the Tabaxi race that you've met a few of in your travels. However, the Reverend standing before you now is much stockier. His face is wilder than Quill's was, but also more majestic.
As you get a closer look at him as well, you see that under this big, like black leather duster that he's wearing sort of like a priest's frock coat and dog collar, and but like you can tell, being adventurers, that there's like the bulk of plate armor underneath that frock.
But also as he moves, even now you've noticed the plate armor, as he moves, you also note that he is making no sound.
Quite impressive. So I'm guessing with the Reverend, you're religious. What religion do you follow?
As you begin to ask these questions, Guinevere comes out of the room behind you, Oriana, with a sheet wrapped around her. I have overheard some of the chat you're having, and of course, all of these questions and the answers that you will give are all very important, but can anyone explain what just happened?
I was going to ask much the same.
There's a bull in your house.
I'll head over to the body that's on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess roll an investigation for it, just to see if I recognise anything about it.
Yeah, go for it.
Try searching his pockets too.
I can do that.
The shadows have pockets?
No, the guy controlling the shadows, silly ace.
19.
19. Okay.
19.
It's good that you rolled that high. As you roll him over then, it happens incredibly quickly. If you hadn't come at this moment, it would have probably gone completely unnoticed. But you see, hanging around his neck, a heavy pendant made of green crystal.
Gross.
And as you roll him over, Oriana, especially you notice an almost aura around him, white and ghostly, like his spirit is about to leave, until it is sucked into the crystal, which gives a quick glow before turning black.
Well, that's deeply disturbing.
Do you think it was the Inquisition?
He is
Going by the-
covered in Inquisition insignia.
Oh, definitely. He looks like an Inquisition fanboy.
Could not be more interesting.
Y'all have fallen afoul of the Inquisition.
I would say that we are, at this point, a fairly good-sized thorn in their side.
Maybe even most wanted.
A friend of ours caused significant damage to the control of the Inquisition. They are unhappy with us. They didn't like us much before that, mind.
And then I stole some of my property back from the High Inquisitor. And we killed the Grand Inquisitor.
Ariana
Ew.
had this skull.
That's a heck of a claim.
I pull it out.
The Grand
No
Inquisitor.
Well, aren't you interesting folk?
How do you feel about that? Because I think it's very important for the continuation of this conversation.
Well, ma'am, I try not to glory in violence, but I know as well as anyone it's necessary from time to time. And if you've got to do killing, suppose inquisitors are just about the best targets you can choose.
And how do you feel about humans?
In what capacity?
In a slave capacity, I suppose?
Opposed?
Good answer.
Very promising.
You said
So-
your name, monsieur, was the Reverend?
Yes, madame.
I have heard of this one. In the circles that myself and your friend Quill's aunt travel in secretly, he is known to us.
As a good person?
If some of the stories about his travels and the amount he has helped are to be believed, then we. There are a great many stories.
Do we know? Greg doesn't have a name on the stream. You don't currently have a name on the stream because you didn't have a character.
It's true. That is true.
And I don't have the font.
You
Sort
don't
of
have
for
to
it. It will be done
Yeah.
soon.
So,
We were talking about religion.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I serve the Lord of Travelers and Lost Souls, Hermes.
A Grecian god, obviously.
Well, yes.
Oh, I serve Hades.
My understanding is that our masters have a cordial working relationship.
They do. Hermes has been known to deliver souls for Hades.
He's very concerned with seeing that those who are lost come around to being found.
He is.
And hence why, your Lady Guinevere here may know of me a little. We try to help those as find themselves displaced or without a place to call home, perhaps after escaping or being helped to escape from their former.
You've been helping people get to Nidum.
Well, no, ma'am. Mostly to Gracia, but
Oh, I didn't.
my understanding is that sometimes they do make their way in the direction of that town.
So, I'm sorry, you said you were passing through.
As this is happening, by the way, in the background, a squad of guards has finally turned up, looks at the scene, and Guinevere just kind of looks at them with just an exasperated expression and just points at the body on the floor, and they begin to tidy him away with their tails tucked between their legs, as it's taken them
What took you so long?
It's taken them about 10 minutes to turn up.
I had to get here on a cart, and I've been here for. No, I'm just yanking your chain. You guys are doing a great job.
Mostly. I would like to pet the bull, please.
Oh yes, please.
Gonna go over and be like,
So I'm guessing this guy, the Reverend, Cad Bane hat, duster coat,
Mhm.
Sweet.
Yeah, big cowboy vibes.
Love it. Great.
Good hat.
Big lion cowboy.
Big lion cowboy.
I'm not on Hero Forge.
Nice. So, where are you going from here?
Well, ma'am, I don't rightly know. Sometimes Hermes comes to me and he says, "Well, Reverend, you better go here or there, or you know." And he says I should come here. Usually, when I get to where he points me, it becomes obvious what it is I ought to do, and maybe it was just to deal with that gribbly fellow who attacked you upstairs, or maybe he has more for me to do here.
Well, we have recently lost a member of our group to a pilgrimage,
We're going to Grisha.
and
Is that-
we are heading towards Gracia. We could always do with
Great.
a local.
Many years since I've been home. If you think that my talents may be of use to you, I'd be more than happy to help.
We need to do some convincing of the Gratians, and perhaps having someone from the area would be advantageous.
I'm at your service.
I promise the convincing is a good thing. It is to preserve life, not kill more
Hopefully
people.
going to stop a war.
We would like to stop a war between.
Also, we've got a pretty fancy airship.
That's true. And your
if-
bull would be most welcome.
Well, he's not the greatest fan of heights, but I'm sure he could tolerate it for a while.
I look to Oriana and just go, where the hell are we going to put a bull?
Same place we keep the nightmare.
Storage deck.
Sure.
There is a hold that you've outfitted at least 1/4 of it to hold the nightmare. You're not shipping a great deal of goods. You could probably sort out like a place for the bull as well.
Well then,
You're right, Dad. Sorted quite easily.
what time of night is it?
Well, you ask Oriana.
I can
Yeah.
look at watch.
Oriana, what time is it?
It is around about 1 o'clock in the morning.
So we can still get a good rest before you need
Yeah.
to settle.
I think
It wasn't really disturbed for very long, so
if you are still here in the morning, perhaps we could discuss it. But as it is, I'm not feeling my best, and I'm going to go back to sleep. My apologies.
Of course. Good night.
Night. With my-
Yeah, we'll meet in the morning.
Yes, that sounds most pleasant.
Monsieur,
I didn't catch your names, by the way.
I am so sorry. My name's Oriana.
Ace.
Pleasure to meet you.
I'm already face down in a pillow. I just go, nice.
Nice.
Pleasure.
Monsieur, do you have lodgings sorted in the town already?
Oh, I don't need any such thing. I'll bed down in my cot. Ma'am, if you can just show me where to park it.
We have 3 rooms available on this floor if you would wish something more comfortable. It is the least
Oh,
we can do to repay you.
For making a mess of your hall. No, I'm used to humble circumstances.
Then I will have the guards show you where you can stable your very fine bull. And I wish you a pleasant evening. Breakfast will be available for you should you wish to return in the morning.
Thank you kindly.
And
Sorry?
That's just dice saying goodbye.
Right. I thought you were making a sheep noise.
Meh.
It's just you go into the stable.
That's what it is. You find a bunch of sheep in there. It's a real surprise considering this is a vineyard.
Yeah.
Can we take a long rest again?
Guinevere takes you, Oriana, back into the bedroom. The guards then remain posted, apart from one, Jonathan, who shows you, Reverend, to a stabling area quite close by.
What is Jonathan a human?
He's a human guard, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to quickly, get a sort of an idea of how he's doing, like how he's feeling. Like, can I just am I able to roll like an insight check to just
Yeah, you absolutely
see
can.
what the guy's vibe is? That is a 19.
Okay. As he's guiding you then, he does seem a tiny bit sheepish. Having been caught short, not doing his job correctly, not protecting the lady of the town or her guests. However, the further away he gets from the scene, the more confident he gets. But he tends to trip over his step. This is a man new to confidence.
Young guy?
Young guy. He's about late teens, early 20s.
The one that went with Oriana and Guinevere.
Mm-hmm.
I just as he gets me to where I'm going, I'll just give him like a solid pat on the shoulder and just don't you worry none about what happened back there. I've seen characters like that before, and ain't nobody in the world can stop them from getting where they means to go.
My thanks, sir. I just worry a little that my boss, the mistress, if you will, our relationship might have soured a bit after becoming so good yesterday.
I don't think so. She seems like a reasonable lady. No reason to think she'd hold that kind of thing against you.
Yeah, she seems quite nice. Thank you, though, for looking after her and her guests. Cheers.
Twere nothing.
You sure I can't get you blankets, food, a drink?
There's a blanket in the cart. I'm okay.
All right. Each to his own. Pleasant evening, sir.
Have a good night.
And he goes back to his post. And as you all then, after... Well, no, sorry.
I was just going to say I'll do as I said. I'll bed down in the cart with a couple of coarse blankets.
Okay.
Yeah.
As the rest of you then, in relative comfort.
In
Ace?
case it becomes relevant later, the Reverend 100% definitely does sleep in his armor.
Okay.
Just in
Cool.
case you're wondering.
Ace, are you taking your armor off? When you go
Probably
back
not.
to bed? Okay.
I'm
Oriana.
going to keep mine on.
Dice, meh. Yours is just is on. Okay. The rest of the night, fortunately for everyone, passes uneventfully. However, before it is determined whether you can have a long rest, I would like everyone apart from Dice to make me a Constitution saving throw with advantage.
So that 20.
Cool.
With 29 in total.
I got a 25. I'll tell you, it's a good thing we had advantage though,
Mm-hmm.
because I rolled a nat 1 the first time.
Yeah,
Kind of the opposite
21
of my
is
disadvantage
right.
from earlier.
What was yours, Ace? Sorry.
21.
Okay. You
Wow.
can all delete your strength modifiers. The strength minuses that you all had on your character, so to put them back to normal. As the effect of the Shadow Assassin's weapon has fortunately disappeared after a long rest. And
Dice.
yeah, you 2 dice. Sorry, that was to everyone. I apologize. The Constitution saving throws, though, mean all of you, very fortunately, wake up feeling fully rested, not suffering any kind of exhaustion for sleeping
Long rest.
in your armor.
And I got to roll for my crown because it's dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's why I didn't have to roll, because I always sleep in my armor. Right, I see.
Your armor is skin tight and imposes none of the disadvantages that any other type of armor would.
My armor is a pair of leggings and a bra.
Yeah, it's but it's
That's
quite
pajamas for.
it is quite sturdy leather
Yeah, true.
with metal studding. So I'm gonna have people in the chat like telling me now that it's quite easy. It's going to be quite easy to sleep in, regardless of the way I describe leather armor.
Leather armor's not that easy to sleep in, I'm sorry. I've made some, it ain't
very
comfortable.
broken in.
Yeah. And if it's that broken in, probably not working that well as armor anymore.
Yeah.
But yes, morning greets you all. You, Reverend, earlier than most, as you are used to, the waking with the dawn, as you would out in the wilds.
Yeah.
Do you return to the Longhouse?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And by the time you return, then the guards are changing shift. The shift change is taking slightly longer than normal, as they are exchanging stories of the events of the night before. And you feel with their stares as they follow you up the steps, as they all kind of nod to you and smile, those stories may have probably included your involvement. The huge smiles on their faces. It's only been one night. You're not quite sure how much your involvement has probably been exaggerated at this point. But they are just grinning at you, as if they're meeting some small celebrity.
Yeah, I keep my mouth fairly well shut.
Okay.
I'm not. The Reverend isn't super talkative. I was going to say I'm not super talkative, but let's be honest, no one was going to buy that. But yeah, I, sort of try and acknowledge them with just a nod, where I can.
Okay.
Oriana's gonna come down.
Oriana having
Much
just
that,
woken up is going to come out.
Blindly looking for coffee.
There are servants. No,
Grab
sorry,
your hands.
there are not servants. There is a house staff employed,
Yeah.
and they are happily bustling about preparing breakfast for everyone. There is hot coffee. There is tea brewing. Out at the table, Guinevere follows you, now fully dressed, Oriana, behind you, and also grabs some coffee.
What a night.
And as she kind of looks into the hallway and sees the bloodstains on the floor, which have not quite been cleaned properly yet, she just kind of like sips the coffee and is like, so that did happen? That was not a dream?
Yeah, it did. And I'll cast prestidigitation on it and clean up the blood.
Ah, merci. You are useful. Are you sure you have to leave?
Sadly, yes.
Of course, there are many more uses for you than cleaning up stains.
I am a woman of many talents.
I know.
But at least I know I've got somewhere I can come back to when this is all over.
Anytime.
Good.
Though perhaps you can drop me a message. I fear I may have to leave Toulouse quite soon as well.
That's probably a good idea.
I will venture to Paris, as my cousin, I think, could use the help, guidance.
Yeah, you probably could. Practice your new talent as much as you can.
There is very little I can think of to do it with it that is practice, but there is this, and she produces a rose in her hand without any thorns and presents it to you.
I take it and stick it behind my ear. Like, that is something. Just keep at it, and the more you do it, the more you'll be able to do.
Perhaps there will be many more people I can present with flowers along the way.
Maybe.
But nothing quite as extravagant as a rose. I do not think. I will reserve that for someone special.
Sure. Depends on who you meet.
I have duties to attend to.
Yes, we should probably get on our way.
I will make time to say goodbye before you go.
I'd like that.
And she bends, kisses your hand. And then as she rises, kisses you.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually lets you go and wanders off with a smile on her face.
I go and sit down next to the Reverend. Morning!
Morning, ma'am.
How did you sleep?
Just fine.
Sort of lay down and put a blanket over yourself and...
Those were the main steps, yeah.
Mm.
I hope you're not too injured from the night's activities.
No, I'm perfectly fine. Nothing a good night's sleep can't fix.
Relieved to hear that.
As you look at Oriana having this conversation, you do notice a life about her, and Dice as they enter, and Ace as well, that seeing the injuries they sustained the night before, with your experience with the common folk that you've helped, is, in your mind, impossible. There is definitely something special about these three. Something that, having sustained some injuries yourself along the way, you realize that the four of you have in common.
Yeah, the only marks Oriana has is the 3 slashes across her chest.
Interesting.
Hmm?
Oh, I was just observing to myself.
Okay.
I will say you may have noticed as well now that it's I don't know how high everyone's passive perception is, but now that it's daytime, you've probably noticed that the like duster coat that the Reverend wears, it's like mostly like this matte black leather, but there is a pattern of like shinier black, which looks like just like eyes dotted here and there over it.
That's an interesting pattern you've got going on there.
Oh, my coat?
Yes.
It's well, I took it off of a person I didn't like too much. Helps me keep my wits about me.
Seems to have something we have in common, taking things from people we don't like.
Perhaps, yes.
Do you have does the pattern have any meaning, or?
It's this cloak. It helps me to see things around me. It keeps me from being surprised.
Oh, that's incredibly handy.
From time to time.
I'm not the most perceptive of people.
Well, I like to keep my eyes open. If you'll pardon the joke.
I mean, I can see in darkness, and not just the whole tiefling thing. I can see in magical darkness, but that's thanks to the point to the crown.
Handy skill.
Handy crown.
Sure.
It's got quite a few uses. Just sit there sipping on my coffee. Not very talkative, are you?
I'm accustomed to my own company. I may be a little rusty at the social graces. I apologize.
That's fine. You should spend some time with Ace. They're also a more keep to themselves kind of person. A good, honest person. Conversation with Dice and I tends to get... Well, we won't go into it.
I like honest.
Yeah, there's a difference between honest and too much information.
Ace and Dice, you're there too now, by the way.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Dice, you haven't come out.
No.
Oh, okay.
You just.
I have something else I want to do.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Ace is sort of like nodding along to what Ori's saying and scoffing some porridge.
See?
I do indeed. How do you all know each other?
We grew up together.
see.
You mentioned Nidum. Oh, well, we mentioned Nidum last night. That's where we're from.
We grew up in the same village. I used to harass Ace's father quite a bit.
Don't know that I've ever heard of people leaving Needham.
It's a choice. It's a choice we're supposed to be given when we became of age. That choice was sort of taken from us when we had to leave to keep Needham safe. It's a long story.
Reverend, the Needham you have heard of
Yeah.
is further to the north and the east. And of the three of them, it is placed somewhere in Belge. And of the three of them, Dice is the only one with an accent you think would come from someone who grew up there. You're not...
And you were from Needham originally? Because y'all don't sound like folk from Belgium I've known.
Not the one in Belge. There's as we've come to learn, there's a few.
Yeah, there's more than one Nidum.
We're further west.
West where?
Albion?
I see. I've never been.
Maybe you can go. We'll take you there one day. You show us Grisha, we'll show you our home.
Well, I don't know how long I can be away from my temple. I left some folk in charge, but
You're running a temple?
yes, ma'am, in the mountains.
That's insane.
A small temple.
Sorry,
Okay.
we've come to realise that not many people follow many different religions, so to find that there's still a working temple for a god.
It's
pretty uncommon from what we hear.
I didn't have much of a choice.
Was it left to you?
Oh no, ma'am, sir. Well, no, I built it. The temple myself. In well, a few years ago now. I'm sorry if I tripped up. I don't have like I say, I'm a
Okay.
little rusty with people.
It's
Oh, that's okay. We grew up together and I still mess it up.
Yeah, I'm not too good with people still.
People can be tricky.
They can.
But I find that if you take the time to just listen and observe, people can be a pleasure.
On occasion.
Some people.
We've had some bad experiences.
Yeah.
Mighty sorry to hear that.
Growing up in quite a sheltered village, being sort of thrust into this world was a wake-up call.
Especially with me and Dice being human and having had that prejudice before.
It's a hard road to walk here.
And then me being some sort of exotic rarity.
Mm.
Well, I'm sorry for your troubles.
As you say the words exotic rarity, there is a knock on one of the newly repaired doors leading from downstairs. But before it opens, Dice, while this conversation is going on, what have you been doing?
So when I get up in the morning, I'm going to jump out the window.
Okay.
As you do.
I've had enough.
Yeah? Not
Dice
quite.
is on.
I'm going to jump out the window and I'm going to go and visit the pastry shop.
Okay.
Because it might be the last chance
Take
I
you to
get
the
for a
pastry
while
shop.
to
Okay.
visit a Charlem pastry shop, you know? So I'm going to pop in and I'm going to buy a collection of pastries for the gnomes too, and for myself as treats. And I would also like to visit a cheese shop and a wine shop, please.
You're doing the... I'm from Charlem, but I've never really experienced the culture because I've lived away for so long, so now I want to do all the things my parents have told me about over the years. Yeah, okay.
It's my last chance for a bit.
You do. You visit the shops. You are gifted, or they try and gift you quite a lot of the cheese and the wine and the pastries. Do you refuse the gifts, or do you accept them?
I very politely say, oh, but I couldn't possibly accept it as a gift. I would much rather continue to pay towards your wonderful town and make sure that you're all thriving and successful. It's such a wonderful place, don't you think?
They heartily agree with you, all of them. But if you do insist on paying, the 3 bottles of local wine, the Toulouse Reserve, a wheel of cheese, and the pastries cost you 3 gold and 6 copper.
Fine. And I would also like to try and pick up some wine from the What's It Peaks, where Quill's from. I'm having a moment. Just
The Fragrant
one
Peaks?
bottle from the Fragrant Peaks.
Okay. This one, they are happy to sell to you instead of gift. That sets you back 25 gold.
So in total, the total is 28 and 3 copper.
28 gold, 3 copper.
And how much do I owe to the pretty confectionery shop?
As you enter, she is delighted to see you, because you did end up sending basically every child that was still awake in the town to her door. Most of her shelves are bare. She looks a little exasperated. She's been awake, quite obviously been awake for quite a while. Trying to make new sweets to restock. And she does present you with the bill, and this bill in total comes to 75 gold.
I pay it happily.
You have fed sweets to maybe 1,000 kids.
I'm sorry about your shop. It's a little more empty than it was before.
It is, well, this is more than I would normally make in perhaps a month. I will be very busy, I believe, for the next couple of days, but it was a very nice change, I think. I was getting complacent. I've tried some new recipes. Some of them work, some of them do not. Some of them work very well. No, I think this will help expand my horizons. So, it was a pleasure doing business with you.
It was a pleasure doing business with you too. And perhaps next time I'll get to try some of your new recipes. If I ever get to come back and visit again.
Please, but perhaps if you are planning something so extravagant, a few days notice?
I didn't even know we had a party.
Then perhaps recommend that we have some more prep time, should you return and her ladyship think to throw another party?
I promise we will make sure you... Well, actually, I can't promise. I don't know why I'm saying that. I might not have any control over it, but I very much doubt most people are going to buy sweets for 1,000 children. I think you're probably okay.
I didn't think anyone would ever, but...
On the bright side, great advertising. Maybe more children will visit now that they know how wonderful your sweets are.
Oui, perhaps.
Thank you for your help, though, and for the extra work. I really appreciate it.
It was a pleasure. It
was
was
nice to
also
meet
a
you.
pleasure getting to dance with someone so lovely.
It was lovely to dance with you, too, and I hope that you find someone to dance with in the future.
You have helped with my confidence. Perhaps I will not be so worried about asking the next person to dance.
You shouldn't be. You're very beautiful. Anyone would be lucky to dance with you.
And she does blush very deeply and looks like she wants to run away.
You have a very pretty blush. Have a wonderful day. And I'm going to kiss her on the cheek and then leave.
Okay.
So lucky Orion's not with you.
And I'm going to wander back to the longhouse eating pastries, fully stuffing my face with pastries.
Okay.
And making very happy nummy noises.
Okay.
Any guard I walk past. Yum, yum.
You get back then around about the same time as they answer the door. As the doors are opened then by one of the house staff, Jonathan walks in. He looks quite tired, but also surprised, worried. You're not quite certain, but he draws behind him a hooded figure. It is quite obvious from her build that she is female. Well, her build and her dress. But as he comes forward, she kind of shies behind him. I was going to bring her straight to her ladyship, but seeing as you, Lady Oriana, are who you are and what you are, I thought perhaps you might be a better person to you might be able to possibly explain what maybe you know?
Let's have a look, Jonathan.
Very well. It's all
Everyone
right.
at the same time, yeah?
Yeah. You walk in behind all this going on. Jonathan steps to one side, turns around, puts his hand on the girl's shoulder. It's all right, Cecile. It's okay. Lady Oriana is a friend of her ladyship, and there is absolutely nothing to worry about. Her and her friends are all very, and he kind of looks at the Reverend, I'm sure, very nice.
Cecile, was it?
You see the hood nod, and then her hands come up, and the hood is drawn back. And as the hood is drawn back, it is drawn back almost extravagantly, like she picks it up too high, like she's making a meal out of it. Until the further back it comes, instead of the pink, fleshy nubs you are used to from tiefling horns in the Empire that you've seen, the horns darken. And much more like Oriana's, as she shows her skin now and draws the hood back, the horns curling all the way back to almost touch behind the nape of her neck. You see her skin now deep red, almost blood red, no longer pink. And her eyes, instead of the whites with strangely coloured irises, are now black with almost flames licking in them.
Well, damn, Cecile, I'm almost a little jealous of you.
Bonjour, mademoiselle. Cecile looks about 12.
Oh. Hello.
Bonjour.
Where have you come from?
I have lived in Toulouse for perhaps 2 months, maybe.
Okay.
But I awoke this morning uncomfortable, and when I saw myself in the mirror, I screamed, and my human parents, my fathers, both wanted to know what was wrong, but I did not know if they should see me like this. So I ran, and the guards found me.
So up until this morning you were human?
No, I have been a tiefling all of my life.
But you looked like the other tieflings.
Oui.
They're pink. So this morning you woke up and suddenly your skin is darker and you have impressive horns.
They are just lovely.
They're beautiful.
Morning, everyone.
Is that pastry?
Yeah.
Did you jump out the window to get pastry?
Yeah.
You've got a problem.
Also cheese.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Cecile.
Instead of feeling ignored by you, she kind of comes out of her shell and loosens up a little, just watching you take one look at her and pass it off like it's completely normal, and then talk about pastry, and she kind of smiles at you tentatively, uncertain how to proceed.
There's a lot of changes happening in the world at the moment, Cecile. I guess I didn't even think that maybe more tieflings would start to look more like our true nature.
Are there any other tieflings in Toulouse, Cecile?
There are quite a few. There is Old Rosie, the medicine woman. There is a few of the boys in my school.
Shall we go look for them and see if they've changed as well?
Jonathan kind of looks at you. We have reports. Yeah. All of them.
We.
The boys weren't as scared. Their parents are a bit worried. The ladyship's over there now. But
You haven't shown your parents yet, Cecile.
no, I used to
Why-
look quite a lot like them, or at least could pass for human, and now I no longer look like my father's.
That's
You know
okay.
what, though? You do look beautiful, though.
And most tieflings don't look like their parents.
There is a shout, or a couple of quite loud shouts coming from downstairs of, Cecile! Cecile!
Come on, let's go see them. I'll come with you.
I'll come too.
Yes. Dice handles the human side of things.
There are
That's why I'm coming.
Cecil, hold on.
There are then, as you get to the top of the stairs, there are two quite large, maybe well over 6 foot, taller than you, Oriana, quite strong, strapping men standing there. One has his arm around the other for emotional support, and they are both crying because they do not know where their little girl has gone. But as you walk down the stairs, they seem to be trying to push past the guards, as they may have been told or informed that Cecile is here.
Bonjour, monsieur, mademoiselle. My name is Dice. I believe you're looking for your daughter?
Yes, sorry. My name is Augustine. Yes, I'm looking for my daughter. Have you seen her?
Yes. This is Oriana.
I've got Cecile next to me. I've got like a wing around her.
Okay.
Obviously, you've seen Oriana from the paintings over here. And next to Oriana is your daughter.
And as they both look, there is a widening of the eyes in shock, until they both immediately rush forward to embrace her.
I go, oh good, it's Oriana.
That's weird. There must be some sort of breakdown between the planes if tieflings are starting to show their true nature.
Isn't that interesting? That could change everything.
Something worth looking into, I guess. I'm not even sure how I'd begin.
Well, you're the only person I know who can see between planes a little. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm more worried that I'm going to get a bit too close to Asmodeus again.
Both of you roll me an Arcana check.
Okay. Sorry, that was way too chipper, even for dice.
21!
Actually, only 16. Normally I smash these.
Yeah.
Roll a 6.
As you are conversing, dice takes you slightly longer this time to work your head around it, but you do eventually both come to the same conclusion, that the Crystal Heart, at least for as long as you, or from what you can remember from what Quill told you about his dreams, from what you can piece together from the way the Elven Empire worked, was founded, and what has happened since. The Crystal Heart came perhaps after the Sundering of the Plains, not linked to it. However, from what you know of the Crystal Heart, the strength or the power of the crystals as they grow under the entire empire, as far as you're aware, it could have been that the same way they affected the constitution and the life energies of humans, they were perhaps suppressing the more magical, extraplanar natures of other races. Perhaps now that the crystals are changed, no longer filled with the horrible necromantic energy that you felt previously, perhaps this is what tieflings were always supposed to develop into. Which also begs the question, if all the other tieflings in the Empire were affected by the crystals, why wasn't Oriana?
Almost a little bit jealous of them.
Why? You're as beautiful now as you have ever been.
Thank you. I don't know. Always liked the red skin description and black hair, the fiery eyes. I know my eyes are bright yellow. Just was always a little jealous of that.
Look at it this way. You're the only one I've seen with wings.
It's very true. And I have a theory about the purple skin.
Oh, yeah?
It's probably ridiculous, but I once dreamt about the day I was born and it was snowing.
You think the snow?
Maybe it's a
Cool
cooler
skin?
nature.
I think that's a nice idea.
I still like red skin, though. Look how badass it looks. She's going to be amazing when she grows up.
She will, but you are amazing now. And you are the only one
Yeah.
like you. That's cool. Look at
Now,
it this
I
way.
might not be. There may be maybe others have developed in different colours.
with
There's more purple ones?
Cecile now is sitting on the shoulders of one of her fathers as the other father comes forward. Thank you for looking after our daughter. But
Quite all right.
we have a question, if we can.
Yeah, sure.
Will she also? And he kind of flaps one of his arms.
Oh, probably not.
Not.
These, it's a long story. I was not born with them.
Theoretically, she
Maybe
could,
it's Maybelline.
I think.
I mean, if
Theoretically.
she managed to travel to a different plane of existence,
It's under very
which I mean
specific-
she could. Tieflings by nature have some magic ability. You might want to invest in a fire extinguisher.
Oh, yeah. When she was younger,
Especially
she
if
once
somebody
set fire
ever
to the
hits
thatched
her for
roof.
some reason.
When Oriana was 3, she set fire to a thatched roof and nearly burned down the village bakery.
And that was just from sneezing.
Will they both look now terrified. But they both look at her lovingly. We will keep an eye.
It's a self-defense mechanism.
Merci. Perhaps disciplining her for being naughty will become more difficult or more dangerous.
Gentle parenting approach.
Oui.
I said Monsieur and Mademoiselle because I wasn't listening at the beginning. I'm sorry, but Monsieur and Monsieur. I will say that your daughter is ever so beautiful. Her horns are truly spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
You can be proud fathers.
She has always been beautiful.
Of course.
Yes.
It did not matter whether she has pink skin or scarlet. She will always be beautiful.
Oh, watch the tail as well. They can have a mind of their own sometimes.
Knock everything off the shelves.
We have some control over it,
She
but
can-
sometimes it just goes off and does its own thing.
He looks up at her as a Del, and she kind of like looks down a bit sheepish and reaches back behind her and kind of shifts her tunic a little, and then a long red with a kind of barb at the end of it, prehensile tail, just kind of starts waving at him.
Enough practice, you do get quite a lot of control over it, but they do have a mind of their own sometimes.
Particularly in children, I think.
We will.
Ain't stealing things.
Don't tell her that, she's little.
We will. We will adapt.
Yeah.
Oh, Cecile, would you like a pastry?
Oui. Merci.
I will hand her a raspberry Danish.
It's like a third hand, really.
She
I don't
reaches.
think-
She reaches for it with her actual hand, not her tail. Just.
More practice before you can take pastries with that thing, I think.
And they are taken. Well, her fathers take her away.
Honestly, I forget about mine quite a bit.
It usually does this with your cloak. It's quite fun to watch if you walk behind you, like, ooh, as you walk
I
along.
notice it waving at people sometimes.
Without any conscious thought, just, hi!
Yeah. It's
She
like
was
having,
really-
it's just like having another arm, but you don't really do. It's like a second left hand.
Should we tell Quill that that not only did he change the elves' natures, but perhaps he
Maybe
was
not.
pretty overwhelmed when he left.
Yeah.
I
Let's
don't.
not give him a breakdown when he's on the road with his auntie.
He's going to develop this savior complex for the tiefling as well, and
Yeah. And I feel like that's maybe something I should take on.
saving all the tieflings.
Just letting them know what their new infernal nature is.
We could try and
More.
visit some of the tieflings before we leave, if you wanted.
I think the ones here will be okay.
The ones here will be. But other places in the Empire, but we're not staying in the Empire. For a time.
I think they'll be okay.
Are you having this
Tieflings by
conversation as you go back upstairs, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Tieflings by nature are pretty strong.
Yeah, like I said, defense mechanisms.
They're not being
She's
quiet
so
about
cute.
it. So, Reverend,
Uh-huh.
up in the nearby mountains, then, the huge mountain range that stretches far across and outside the Empire. Hearing this, you know of some, not local, but close enough tieflings, spoken of in hushed whispers, the same whispers that also include the words blood magic, that reside high up in the mountains.
Oh, blood mage.
Sorry, what was the connection there?
As they were coming up talking about visiting local tieflings to see if it had had an effect, you know from your time in the mountains that there are tieflings up there who are spoken of in hushed whispers in the same conversation as one would have a talk about blood magic.
And do I know roughly whereabouts they're based?
You could point to it on a map.
If it's if you need to visit tieflings, I may know of some in the direction you're planning to travel.
Oh, I suppose we could. Yeah.
Folk tend to avoid them. They say they're involved in some sort of blood sorcery. But
Ooh, that could be very handy, actually. Sorry, we have a blood trace on us. So, someone who could possibly remove that?
trace?
Yeah, the Inquisition have vials of our blood, and they're able to use those to find out where we are at any time. It's probably how they sent the assassins here. We probably shouldn't have stayed the extra night.
Oh, arcane. I'm not so.
Yes, you don't have much to do with the arcane, do you?
I can do a thing or two, but it's more so that Hermes does things through me. I don't know too much about that book, Learning Magic.
Neither do I. That was always Quill's thing.
Ace, from what you can tell, the Reverend could be talking about being a paladin. As far as you're aware.
God, there's two of them.
Similar source of magic.
Ethan is going to keep pushing in the back of their head at the moment.
Okay.
You keep mentioning this this Quill fellow. Is this someone we need to wait for before we head out?
Oh no, he's gone. He's left this early yesterday morning. Yesterday morning. On a pilgrimage. He's off to help some humans.
I think you mentioned the pilgrimage yesterday.
I was going to help elves, not the humans.
To help the elves visit a wizard.
Mm-hmm.
After a fashion, I
The
guess.
elves that have been freed from the crystals.
Freed?
I'm going to go into a very quick explanation about what's happened to the crystal and stuff.
Yeah, and and Quill was the one who destroyed their heart, so
He
Well,
feels responsible.
responsible.
The heart of the Inquisitor, you said.
Well, sort of. It was a
Yeah.
crystal. It was sort of the heart of the Inquisition, if you like.
Okay.
One of. We suspect there might be others.
Well, I did, but now I'm not so sure.
Oh. Anyway, we should make a move and get to the airship.
Did you want to join us, Reverend?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'll travel with you a spell.
Is Reverend okay? Or do you want to be called the Reverend or Rev?
Rev?
The? Just the?
Revy?
Yeah.
Reverend's fine, or Rev. However you like.
Oh, we are also traveling with a bunch of voracious gnomes.
They're alright.
A dragon's soul controls the ship, and we have a flaming horse in the basement.
That's the nightmare's fine. We don't worry about my nightmare.
Oh, but
There
we
was
should...
There were some $5 words in amongst that, ma'am, and I don't know as I follow. But
I have a flaming horse beast.
And the gnomes
known
eat
as
a lot
the
of food.
nightmare that for some reason I still haven't named. The
Voracious.
gnomes have been captured for a very long time and are very much making the most of their freedom.
Some of these pastries are for them.
They're
Well,
the
alright.
reason we had to stop for supply so soon.
But not all of the pastries.
Am I going to have to learn how to make pastry?
Yeah!
Oh, great.
Genuine joy.
I'll see if I can pick up a book somewhere.
Rev, we should go and get your friend. Ori, do you want to go and say goodbye to Gwen? Or have you done that?
I'll get a message to her to meet us there. And then if Jonathan's around or someone, I'll send someone to get her. I'm not using sending for that.
Jonathan's not there. You get the feeling that he was on his way to bed when he was requisitioned to bring Cecile back to see you, and has now left again to probably go and sleep. However, there are other guards there, and one very quickly does rush off to inform the Lady Guinevere of where you are going and that you are about to depart. But as you point the direction to where the airship is being kept, obviously the Reverend discovers that the stable where his bull and cart are in fact on the way. So it is not difficult to pick them up along the way. It's not too far out of your way, and in almost no time at all, you find yourselves outside the building that you know houses your airship. Across the road, however, is a small tavern for workers on their day off closer to the fields. And sitting outside, even this early in the morning, quite drunk, are 6 gnomes.
Kevin, Sal, Rusty, Spanner, Wrench.
We?
Time to go.
It's time to go. Also, that was only 5 names. I'm missing a 6th name.
I have pastries.
Oh.
I look at Ori and I go, and that's why.
We do anything for pastries?
Then get on the airship.
Boys! Girl! Boys and girl!
Oh, okay.
The conversation is taking place in Gnomish as well.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
I'm going to go over and
On the ship.
Chippy.
On the ship, boys! A girl.
Just Ariana and Dice herding a small group of
And
gnomes.
as he says on the ship, boys and girl, he is pointing in the completely wrong direction.
No.
Okay, let's go
No.
this way.
This way. Okay. No, that's a step. That was a step.
I feel like we need a collie dog for herding gnomes.
I bought bottles of wine. Excuse me, I've left, and one of them just rushes back to the table and picks up 3 bottles of wine. I paid your money for this wine.
Okay.
It's my wine.
Okay.
Okay.
It's all yours. No one's going
It's
to
your
take it from
wine.
you. Come on.
Okay. Come on.
It's local wine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Local wines. Lovely.
Please don't tell me it's Trim Peaks, whatever fucking peaks.
No, do you know their wine is like
Fragrant
25?
Peaks.
Fragrant Peaks wine is like 25 gold. I bought some.
I didn't pay that much. I
Oh my
think
God,
I paid
Polly's into battle.
3 gold. Was I ripped off?
No.
No,
That sounds about right.
No, that's about right. Come on.
I
sitting there going,
I
fully
found
ripped
I
off.
found it in a chest in the captain's quarters cab thing with the map.
No, that wasn't even our gold.
That's not even our gold. That's a ship's gold. Okay, let's go.
There's a chest.
That's your gold
There's
now.
a chest full of gold.
Okay, that's your gold now.
Look,
Oh.
apricot Danish.
Oh, and he follows you.
Maybe you should go get your gold.
Eventually, you
How much
are all
gold did we
then.
just give this gnomes?
Eventually, you are all then
Okay, I've got
presented
enough.
with the newly refurbished airship. No trace of the Empire's colours or insignia are left on the structure. And it is, for all intents and purposes, looks battered, travel worn. But the rest of you do discover, just as Oriana did the previous day, as you get closer, any marks on the ship have been painted on. It is artistically decorated to look as if it is a very travel-worn, well-used machine. But you'll get on. Just as you are about to get on yourself, Oriana, you hear the hooves of a horse charge up and begin to slow as they enter the courtyard that you find yourselves in. And as you turn, hopping down off the horse, covered in dust from the road and travel, is Guinevere. You did not give me very much time to return.
Oh, sorry. We suddenly realised we should probably make a move.
We were herding gnomes.
And
I
yeah,
say.
then we needed to herd gnomes.
It has been a pleasure to host you in Toulouse.
It's been a pleasure to see you again.
I think perhaps your journey will take you far from me. And when we speak again, we will perhaps, something tells me, perhaps may never actually see each other again. I am worried.
It's always a possibility. I've almost died once already.
Take care, Oriana.
You too.
I have more to thank you for than you can possibly know.
Goes both ways. I'll give her a kiss.
You can see tears welling in her eyes, but they do not fall.
Don't do that. And hey, if you meet someone, let me know.
I have had a strange letter from my administrator, Seraphine. I believe she has been made jealous by your presence and is demanding a meeting over dinner and drinks tonight.
Well, enjoy.
I will.
Good.
Au revoir.
Goodbye.
Au revoir, Dice. Yes.
Bye,
Fly up onto the ship.
keep doing what you're doing. You're doing good things.
Au revoir.
Ma'am.
If half of the stories I've heard about you are true, please look after my friends.
I'll do my best.
I believe that you will. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
And she
Away.
steps back, away from the ship.
No, go.
And I will go, Aurelia, it's time to go.
You
Towards the mountains, if you please.
You hear the voice in your head. Very well. If you are sure you would not rather go straight to Gracia.
There is something we really need to get sorted, and the mountains are the best way.
And we can't be followed to the mountains.
Not easily.
I know I can't hear Aurelia, but I'm just answering whatever dice says.
Okay.
She's concerned for us.
I guess.
Almost immediately then, the line or the ring of energy around the airship starts to solidify as if a tornado, the tail of a tornado is constantly circling you. And as the air solidifies and rushes, the ship, with a great lurch, takes off. You can hear the stone legs moulding themselves back into the heart of the ship. And as you look back, you begin to see the town of Toulouse get smaller and smaller in the distance.
I wave till it's almost out of sight.
And as the ship then, high up in the air, just below the clouds, starts to level out, you begin to see far off in the distance, stretching further than the eye can see, over the horizon, some of the biggest mountains you've ever laid eyes on. And they begin to grow. And they begin to grow larger and larger.
Very quickly, and I know why we're rushing this bit a little bit. I'd like to turn to Reverend and go, just to check, do you believe in mountains?
Ma'am, I live in the mountains.
Okay, and is the world
You're
round
ready.
or flat?
Yeah.
I look with like a really intense, like, this is the most important question I've ever asked. I'm like,
It's not something I've ever given that much thought.
Good enough.
Round?
Yep.
round.
Sweet.
10 out of 10. You're doing well. You're going to fit right in. And I pat him on the back.
And as you head off into the distance, we're going to leave it there for the break. For now, not for the session, but we're going to go for a break. We will be about 10-15 minutes.
Time.
Yeah, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. See you guys in a bit.
Over?
Bye.
Hello. We have returned. Whoops. It's doing that thing again where it doesn't like your cameras moving. There we go. We've returned. Yes, hello. Unfortunately, without an M, they're not feeling up to
Poorly.
the rest of the session, but we're glad we had them here for the first half regardless. We will carry on. Greg, please open Ace's character sheet just in case.
Just in Ace?
Just in Ace. And yes, where we left off in part 1, you had began your journey into
The unknown.
the Alps,
The unknown.
basically.
I love you.
And yes, so Is there anything anyone would like to do? It's going to take you a couple of days to really get into the mountains proper. Maybe a day and a half. Is there anything anyone would like to do with their time?
I would like to keep tinkering with my wings and trying to incorporate them into the armor, because I'd done it mostly when we got to Toulouse, but I had another day's work left to do.
Yes. Okay, cool.
I want to sort of meditate and see if I can feel a closer connection with the other planes or with the infernal plane.
Okay.
To see if I can work out why the tieflings suddenly became more infernal. Bless you and your broken nose.
Thank you. Yeah. I have sneezed myself blurry.
You really have. Probably
Okay.
for the best, judging by the face you're making. That looked like a painful one.
It was.
Um,
And you're wondering, Bri broke his nose several years ago and now sneezing is painful.
oh yeah, just once or twice.
Reverend, is there anything you would like to do with your time?
Yes, I'm gonna try and find a room where I can break down my guns and fiddle with them a little bit. I have a magical weapon, and I'm trying to figure out the process of like getting the enchantment from the weapon onto the gun.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay. There is a workshop on this boat for the manufacturer
convenient.
of, well, it's for the manufacture of tools for the general maintenance of the ship itself. It is very well stocked. It is of gnomish make. However, while there is space enough for more than one person to do their work in there, it is currently occupied by dice.
So I guess I'll go in there and excuse me, I didn't know these facilities would be in use.
Like the kitchen in university.
Yeah. As you walk in, you literally see Dice with all of the blades of the wings like laid out on the table, a smear of grease up one side of her face, like putting things together and things hanging off wires, and I'm like, Oh, hello.
Hello, I had hoped to get a little bit of work done here, but if you're busy with something, I can probably find somewhere else to work.
I think that there's space enough for both of us. What is it you're working on? I'm not to be nosy, I apologize. And I'm still like wedging one of the blades back into the pinions, the feathers. What is it that you're working on?
So I'll lay my my rifle bad news on a table,
Okay.
and I take this this rapier and place it alongside, and say I came by this sword here, has some interesting properties, and I'm looking to try and ponder out a way to transfer or imbue the rifle with the same properties. But I confess this isn't my strongest suit. I'm a fairly adept tinkerer, but the magic element of this might be a little bit on me.
Well, if you're willing to accept some assistance, magical tinkering is very much my area. And again, I wave the feathers.
Any assistance would be very much appreciated, ma'am. I'm I'm at a loss if I'm completely honest.
Well, let me have a think for a moment. Bri, do I know how to do this?
Yes, in fact, you are currently at this very moment almost doing exactly the same thing, the transference of the magical properties from one item onto another. You are not, in your work, you are not currently trying to completely transfer the magical properties. You're trying to meld both together, one item to another. But the principle is very much the same. It's finding a way to incorporate a part of the rapier into, or the easiest way would be finding a way to incorporate a part of the rapier and closing the magical power in that into bad news, into the rifle. I'd like you to roll me an Arcana check, please.
Just straight Arcana, not tinkering.
No, Arcana.
Okay, straight Arcana check, 23.
23, okay. You would assume Ace's skill's probably a little bit too heavy-handed for this without damaging the weapon itself.
Mm-hmm.
However, with your help, you with then the Reverend's help or vice versa, and your ability to heat metal, you would assume, and after looking over the rapier itself, a lot of the magic of the rapier is imbued in the tip. It's not like it incorporates the, or it doesn't suffuse the entire weapon. You could remove the hilt, the basket hilt. You could remove the handle. You could remove all of the decorations on it. And just the blade, which is just shy of the length of the rifle, that's where the magic is held. You think, while it might not look as sleek as it once did, with your ability to heat metal and both of you doing tinkering checks, you reckon you could probably get this done quite quickly.
So I will explain this to the Reverend and my idea and sort of draw a little diagram of what I think it'll look like and go into far more detail than any person would ever need to know. And really get overexcited about the whole thing.
The Reverend probably looks very confused by some of what you said. But kind of seems to be mostly following.
We could take this and put this here, and then if we move... Can you see? On the diagram here?
Yeah, I think I mostly grasp what you're getting at.
I think together we could do it quite quickly, if it's something you really want to do. And of course, if you trust me, you've only just met me, so it could be crazy.
Yeah, I trust you. I think, yeah.
I pat him on the shoulder again and go, brave man. Okay.
Well, you seem a goodly sort. Yeah, let's give it a go. Why not?
Hey, that sounds good. I can pop my project on the back burner until tomorrow, and we can focus on yours. It won't make a difference for me.
I don't mean to force you to drop what you're doing. We can work on this another day if you prefer.
No. You're here. It's a good way for us to get to know each other a little.
Well, sure. That sounds fine.
Okay.
Fabulous.
I would like then... Is heat metal a cantrip or a spell? Spell, okay. For this to work, you are going to need to use heat metal twice, or once at a higher level.
I mean, yeah, I can cast it at 3rd level. Technically, I can even cast it at 4th level.
You only need to go one level higher.
So it's that.
So yeah, it's up to you. 2 level or 1/3.
I'll just do 1/3. Yeah.
Okay. While you are casting then, you can choose either one of you. Either both of you roll tinkering or one of you rolls with advantage.
When we say tinkering, is this a dex thing?
It's intelligence plus your proficiency bonus.
My intelligence is -1.
Yeah, I get my proficiency bonus twice on tinkering checks as well, so I get plus 15 to any tinkering check.
I will leave it to you.
This is kind of Dice's wheelhouse, very much so.
That's good news.
So, do I roll with advantage, Bray?
Do you roll with advantage?
Yeah, if I'm rolling for both of us.
Yes, you do.
Okay. That's cocked. Okay. That would be. Oh my god. 38.
38.
Yeah.
Okay.
I rolled a 13.
All right. Isn't that 28?
Yes.
Okay. Just checking.
Yes, maths is hard, and reverse maths is even harder. Not that this is reverse maths, this is forward maths.
Yeah. Addition.
This is upward maths. Just accept it and move on.
Okay, cool. So, it takes... You've left at maybe 11 a.m. It takes the best part of the rest of the morning and most of the afternoon to get this to work, to heat the metal enough to a sufficient heat as to be able to then merge it with the barrel of the gun itself. Holding it there, holding that spell, and also then attempting not to burn each other with the work. It is difficult, but by the end of it, you are both covered in sweat. A lot of exertion has gone into the creation of this weapon. However, it is now, of course, slightly bulkier. But it doesn't affect the weapon in any other way. But you'd reckon you now have a bad news of wounding.
Ooh, very nice. Thank you.
Dice, I'm going to need you to roll me an Arcana check.
Yep. Sorry.
There is going to be two different DCs on this to determine what the Reverend needs to do to be able to use the weapon.
Okay, well, I rolled an 18 and I add 10 to it for an Arcana check. So
28. Okay. You are
28 again?
you are 3 over. So, Reverend, when I homebrew it, you do not need to attune to this gun.
Oh, that's very tasty. Thank you.
That's huge.
If you had rolled 3 lower,
Yeah.
you would have needed to attune to the gun.
It's a real good thing I didn't have to roll that, because my Arcana is -1. I would not have been capable of it.
No, the one...
Yeah, it wouldn't have worked.
Because Dice rolled the tinkering check, I think Dice was the one who had to determine in their magical creation. Dice should be the one to determine that.
Yeah.
So yeah, well done. 28. Cool.
Don't know why Bri gets me to roll these anymore. I got a 16 on one earlier.
Because you're not a rogue and you don't get reliable talent. Just in case. You're not...
Isn't reliable talent add 10 anyway?
Reliable
roll
talent,
below
you
10.
can't roll below 10, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Treat anything from 1 to 9 as a 10.
Nice.
If it's any consolation, I am good at some things. I have a 24 passive perception.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's very high.
And it's fine, you have Dice to help with this. That's what she's there for.
As this is ongoing then, bonding in your magical item manufacture, Oriana, roll me a religion check, please. Or an arcana check, whichever you prefer.
I also realised I need to carry on with turning the skull into...
The meditation's not going to take that long.
22.
22. Cool. And
My Arcana and Religion are both +4, so
okay.
either.
Okay.
Pardon me.
As you light up your pipe and begin your normal ritual of meditation, it takes a while, or not very long, depending on your perception. But eventually you do find yourself in a very familiar subterranean space. In front of you, a blue flame flickering like a campfire, and a shadow moving around the outside of it. And you hear this time a voice. Oriana, my favorite.
Hello, dear.
I apologize for not being able to meet you in person. I am connected to this place, my home, but not able to be present at the moment. I am keeping out of sight.
Seems sensible.
There are growing dangers here. I fear for my life and those of my brothers, my kin. But
You said so last time.
it has quieted down, but while my brother thinks there is no longer a worry, I disagree. Why do you come, child?
The other tieflings have begun to show their full infernal nature. They've changed.
The natural order returns, for now at least. Your friend took something unnatural from the world and destroyed it.
Mm-hmm.
You make wise choices in companions, Oriana.
We've picked up a new one.
I have been told.
He's a follower of Hermes.
It was Hermes that did the telling.
I thought it might have been.
He is hard to pin down, but when our spheres of influence cross, it is only polite to inform each other, I suppose. I would recommend you keep an eye, at least until he does something as impressive as your last companion, your first who left. Well, I could not see his fate until it was too late. And now I no longer see his fate at all.
No.
Whatever he is doing, his fate no longer lies in the realm I command.
Yeah. They were an odd one.
Yes, they were. Their string has unraveled. And you see an image float on the side of the cave, as if looking through a window. And you see a hand holding an ancient golden pair of shears as it reaches towards a long, glowing green string. And as it is about to cut, The string begins to unravel and unwind and darken until it evaporates. I can no longer see him. Them. Fuck. Sorry, I can no longer see them.
They are a worry.
You have had many worries.
And I will have many more.
Some of them, and he points to your form and you notice that the skull is laying next to it in this dream. Some of your worries are no longer. Some of your worries have grown stronger. And he again nods at the skull.
And some of them have turned on me. Better the family you pick, isn't it?
You came with a question about the planes. This
Yes.
is not why the tieflings have changed.
Right.
Their infernal natures was biological more than arcane. They were being suppressed. Now they will be as splendid as you are, Oriana.
I like that. Are they all red?
No.
Good.
The majority I see are scarlet, the colour of blood and fire, but there are a great many that are the colour of the elements, blue-green like water, green-brown like earth.
Well, they'll just brighten the place up.
In that way, Oriana, you are still unique. There are none quite like you.
How could there ever be?
I fear you are not travelling straight for Gracia.
No, we need to make a few stops along the way. One being removing the blood trace, hopefully.
Very few interesting journeys are in a straight line. Do what you need.
I'll be with you soon.
And I will await your help.
Until then.
Stay safe.
You too.
The dream ends, and you are once more back in your cabin.
Right. You, when I look at the skull.
Okay. You want to carry on working?
Yeah, I need to carry on with trying to turn it into an arcane focus.
Okay. As you are doing that, then roll me an Arcana check, please.
Yay. It's 22 again.
22.
22.
Excellent. Okay.
Time for it.
Again, as you stare and meditate on the skull, trying to impose your will, perhaps shape some of your wild arcane energies into tools to affect the skull, start to merge it with yourself. You can again, in your mind's eye at least, see the sickly glow of the green that was the Grand Inquisitor's eye as it turned on you. But the green, like before, begins to pale until a few hours in, it is a bright, shining white. like a blizzard. It moves inside the skull, swirling, until you see shocks of purple start to spread through it. And instead of a blizzard, it is now a swirling torrent of white, purple, green, blue, frothing water, like a whirlpool being viewed from below, until it settles, and it is all colours and none. And with a little bit of the woodworking, the craftsmanship you picked up begrudgingly, not wanting to go to many of your lessons when you were a child, but you picked a few things up along the way. It's not as tidy once you eventually fix with some melted silver. It's not as tidy as something that Dice could cook up in the workshop, but it is very much a creation of yours. It is wild. It looks like something a barbarian warrior woman would club you to death with, or a shaman would curse you with. It is very in keeping with you as you affix it to the top of your staff. And as you turn and try and flare some of your magic into it, and you cast a cantrip, the eye does glow with the energy of the spell. You now have an arcane focus created out of the skull of the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah. This bitch serves me now.
Yeah, you do.
Roll me another Arcana check.
Magic.
15.
Okay. You now have effectively, bear with me, Oriana. When this decides that it wants to work, because you know, D&D Beyond.
Oh, what a garbage website, right?
We love D&D Beyond. Shut up. This decides it wants to work. Oh my god, give me the stats I'm looking for.
These are not the stats you're looking for.
That D&D Beyond's attempt to not look like it's failing.
It's fine. Everything's fine. There we go. Boom. Okay. You now have the equivalent of a wand of the War Mage +2.
Nice.
However, because of the power included and combined in such an arcane item as the Skull of the Grand Inquisitor, for this to work, you must attune to it.
Oh shit.
It's worth it though. That's going to boost your attacks and spell DC by 2.
There is something that is very much a cosmetic item you're attuned to that you
I know.
probably would no longer need to.
No, there's a set of lingerie going for somebody.
We haven't been hiding quite as much as we used to.
Yeah, it's true.
Devastating, though. I love that undie set.
I have a slot spare for it.
That's what she said.
You have a slot free for the Grand Inquisitor's skull, do you?
Yeah,
Noted.
my skull now.
Okay. So,
Just realised my other possessions right at the bottom has got a few ruby shards.
so now then, with the Wand of the War Mage +2, everything. Well, you've got plus 13 spell attacks, plus 19 spell save DC.
Yeah, I
Not
think
bad.
you can say I spend the rest of my time attuning to it.
Okay. With that, then, the rest of the day, while that did take it out of you, the rest of the day is basically spent in quiet contemplation and resting from the day's exertions. Is there anything any of you would like to do before the next day dawns?
Oh, I guess I wouldn't have much time after helping the Reverend for the day.
It depends how late you would like to work into the day.
I've got the next day. It will take 2 full days to get where we're going, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd have time to finish the next day, in which case, no, I would just go for food and maybe a glass of wine. And write in my diaries, sort of thing.
You all, I would assume, eat a meal together. Is there anything anyone else would like to do, or rest from the day and the next day dawns? Okay. That night, while you are asleep, Reverend,
Mm-hmm.
as sleep takes you, you almost jerk back awake. You can hear the sounds of fast-running feet, interspersed with the sound of flapping wings, but flapping at an incredible speed, like a hummingbird. The footsteps you eventually determine belong to one person, but they are running also at an incredible speed. Faster than you believe any mortal can move. These are familiar to you. It's been a while, but you've had dreams like this before. And when a young but wise voice begins to speak to you, it is a very familiar one. You have found the right people, my child. Well done.
I'll drop to one knee. Lord Hermes, it's an honor.
I have a task for you, my child, that is going to be different and ask a great many things of you that you may not be comfortable with.
You have only to ask, my lord.
Protect these 3. Guide them as best you can. Keep your faith and allow it to protect others, as you have been. But also allow it to guide your hand in violence, if you can. Where they are going, there will be a great deal of it, and, unfortunately, to protect them, you will have to engage in it. I know it has been a long time, but, my child, this is not done for vengeance. This is not done out of hate. This is not done to fill a void that cannot be filled, or mete out justice in your eye. This is done to protect the world.
As you know, my lord, I have no love of violence anymore. But I have these talents. They are what you need of me. I am your instrument.
I have need of your hands, perhaps for violence, but also for healing. Your friends tend to get into scrapes, and I fear the direction they're headed in is going to lead to a lot more.
I fear you may be right.
There is a great deal of fear amongst the gods, not just in Gracia, but everywhere. There are a great many things moving in the shadows of our realms, in the corner of our eyes, that worry us. Nothing worries the gods. It has been a while since my kin have felt fear like this. It is refreshing for some, while others ignore it. Probably to their peril, but I will continue to travel, look, send messages where I can, but I am currently out of sorts with the rulers of Gracia. So you will be my eyes there.
I'm honored.
I will warn you, child. If he discovers you have returned, he will begin to work against you once more. The gods are not forgiving of slights.
No, I know. I can't let that stop me from doing the work that needs to be done.
Which is why I came to you. Because I knew you'd say that. Anyway, can't stop for long. Good luck, child.
My lord.
And with a incredibly fast pattering of footsteps and a lightning quick fluttering of wings, the presence is gone, and you sleep for the rest of the night dreaming of mountains followed by open plains with many others of your people racing across them. Until the next day dawns, and as you all take your time to get prepared in the morning and look out of the windows into the distance, you see the mountains now looming up in front of you, almost like impossibly close now, overnight, as if they crept up on you in your sleep. But as you get closer, they do not seem to be getting higher until you realize how distant they still are, which just tells of the scale of them. They are huge, and you see, or you feel, the airship begin to buffet a little as winds begin to take it. And Aurelia, try as they might to make it a smooth ride, it does start to rattle and shake, and you are reminded of voyages or journeys at sea. The land below you is far, but you see foothills rolling, and huge lakes, bodies of water being captured in valleys. And there are towns off in the distance. There's no chance anyone would see you. You're entirely too far away. You'd be a speck to them. But from your vantage point, it's as if you can see the world. What would everyone like to spend their morning doing?
Breakfast.
Breakfast.
Probably the Reverend's up on deck enjoying the view.
Okay.
I would like to continue working on my wings and incorporating them into the rest of my armor.
Okay. Roll me a tinkering check.
Okay. Okay, so that's only 24.
24? Okay.
I mean, what was even the point of rolling it if you're only going to get a 24?
You...
No rubbish.
Okay. So you spend the best part of the day, or the best part of the morning at least, up until at least lunchtime, working on it. And you can tell you are almost there. Until eventually, you have to find a way of testing it out. You believe, as far as you are aware, those wings are part of your armor. They do shift. So now, when you take your armor off, it's almost as if it gets absorbed. As before, where it had a jar that it was kept in, it is now as if the rest of the armor gets absorbed into the backpack that incorporates the wings.
And the wings go flat against my back, like, so as though they're not there. Because Dice sleeps in her armor, so because she can never really take it off. It would be difficult if there was a backpack on all the time.
Okay. As you then merge, you pull your armor out so it incorporates you, or covers your entire body. You look or feel, and the pack that incorporates the wings is now flat against your back, and it is skin tight, and you move as comfortably as you did previously.
Perfect. Testing it on a moving airship seems really stupid. So, as you said, we had to stop once every 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I will wait till the next time we stop.
Okay. As it is coming up to midday then, as you are going to go and have the rest of you a meal, Aurelia does contact you. We must touch down soon, Dice.
No problem, Aurelia. Can you see anywhere suitable for us to land?
There is a mountain lake that we could land in. It is in a depression, surrounded on all sides by stone walls and cliffs. We should be hidden.
That sounds perfect, thank you.
It is as far as I can perceive into the mountains. There is a storm further in. I would wish to re-energize before we approach.
Is it worth waiting out this storm? Or is it a magical storm? Can you tell?
Cannot.
Okay, we will look into that. But yes, if you want to land in the depressed hole,
Okay.
that sounds great.
Okay. And you feel the juddering stop as the ship then travels below the winds and begins to descend towards the mountains.
Is there a way to communicate across the ship, like a speaking tube or something like that?
Have a look.
Tannoy.
I would like to look for a connection, a speaking tube type things.
Okay.
Is that investigation or perception?
It is either one.
Perception's slightly better, so 18.
Yeah. The DC for this, for you especially, was quite low, as you've spent quite a lot of time working on them. But you do notice then, on the bedside table next to your bed, there is... it's a strange, almost... it looks like a trophy, or something set up to hold an object, like a trophy or a souvenir. But in it is a slightly larger than you're used to sending stone. And as you stroke it, it does begin to glow very slightly.
We're coming in for a landing on a depressed lake. Someone should probably go and cheer it up. Also, there's a storm ahead that may or may not be magical. We need to look into that too. Also, I think I fixed my wings. Also, nobody let the gnomes drown. Thank you.
All of you, regardless of where you are on the ship, hear Dice's voice as if she's standing right next to you.
I think the Reverend's probably quite unnerved and maybe tries to talk back. Dice, I can't see you. I can usually see people standing near me.
Do I hear this, Bri?
No. There is no response to you at all.
I'll walk to the front of the ship and see if I can see ahead, see anything about this lake or the storm.
Okay.
Just
look for a sad lake.
Roll me a perception check.
I'm gonna look for a sad lake. Roll a perception check, he says. Okay.
Well, damn, this is where you should shine.
It is where I should shine, right? I have advantage on perception checks as well, because of the robe. 28.
My god, guys, we're never going to miss anything ever again!
Great.
Well, with a passive perception of 24, it's got to be a really fucking good assassin that creeps up on you lot.
Yeah. The robe of eyes also gives me blind sight out to 120 feet. So yeah, the sneaking up on us would be tough.
Yeah.
I am into this.
As you then stare off into the distance, you can see far below you, maybe a couple of miles further ahead, there does seem to be not a depressed lake. It's not a lake shaped like an upside down smiley face. But there is what you could describe as a depression in the middle of the mountains that has captured a large amount of water. From this distance, it looks tiny, the size of a coin. But gauging how far you are away by the size of the trees then directly below you, you'd say the lake is about a quarter mile across. But you can see it would be a pretty good place to hide a ship. There doesn't seem to be anything around it that you can tell. Maybe a couple of caves in the cliff edges, but it is completely hidden on all sides by sheer cliffs and mountains. Further off in the distance, and this is miles away, perhaps another day's travel, there is a dark storm. What confuses you is that the storm does not seem to be moving at all.
Right.
It is hovering over one place. Feeling the winds and knowing how the winds are up in the mountains, storms don't stick around for very long. This one is static.
Peculiar. Okay.
That's what you get. With your perception check as well, you do notice on the front bow there is a large, what looks like very smooth pebble, like in a dragon claw, and it's just in a metal dragon claw, and it's just there, and it's got a slight glow to it.
Right.
It could be, you reckon, with that kind of perception check, crazy high perception check, even though it sounded like it was right next to you, Dice's voice.
Yeah.
This pebble is in the direction the voice came from.
I'll go over and tap at it, see if I can work out what's going on with this thing.
As you tap at it with your big leonine fingers and your claws, it does glow a little brighter.
Hello, Dice. Are you in this shiny pebble?
Dice, you hear the Reverend's voice speaking to you, as do you, Oriana.
I'll go to where I know the pebble is, and pop my head around the door and go, it's a magic rock.
Uh-huh.
I think everyone on this ship heard you say that.
Oh.
I just shout through the it just transfers your voice.
But
I see.
I love that you thought that. I love that. We have experience with sending stuff. It's not your fault.
I was, would you believe me if I said I was making a joke?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, good. No, I wasn't though.
No.
I don't like lying.
But you're a lion. I'm in a different room, I'm safe.
I love that.
I had a look ahead. I see the lake you were talking about. And, the storm, it doesn't look altogether natural. It kind of has the impression of, well, it might be something magical. It's not moving, even in the mountain air. It's a little peculiar, in my experience. But perhaps this is something that you all know about. I'm just a simple preacher.
Well, first of all, I love that you came to look for me in the rock to make sure I was okay. That's very sweet of you, and I appreciate.
Sure, anytime.
I can come take a look.
I was going to say, secondly, I have no experience with magical storms, but we can certainly go and have a look at it.
I'll head up to wherever he is and go have a look at the storm.
Yeah, we'll go up onto the top deck again.
Okay. As you're all out then being pointed in the right direction by the Reverend, it is pointed out, having no real experience with storms other than, whatever hit Nidum as you were younger. The Reverend having lived in the mountains for quite a while, perhaps picking up a bit of knowledge. As storms would hit the mountains, they would come to a huge crescendo by the elements pushing them up into the mountains, condensing them, but then almost as quickly sweep down over the mountains, crashing down on the opposite side, in the direction they were heading. It is a very quick process. Mountain storms hit as quickly as they are passed. This, though, even in the time it's taken for, obviously, the Reverend to explain all this to you, has not moved an inch, though it does seem to be growing instead of condensing. And it takes a moment. You think it may be because you're getting closer. It is not. It seems to be growing.
Yeah, that's definitely not normal.
It doesn't look ideal to fly into.
A cover?
Can I roll an Arcana check against the storm?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, Roo.
Oh.
That would be 30.
Actually, a 30 now or a 20?
I rolled a natural 20.
Okay. Sorry.
No, just because I couldn't add once, Richard Bryan. Don't make me come in there and beat you with a stick, because I will.
I'm very sorry. I apologize.
Cool.
With your Arcana check, then, being very interested in magic, even though you knew you'd never aspire to the heights of, say, some of the wizard adepts that grew up in Nidum, you were still very interested in how they work their spells, what heights they could aspire to, what kind of things they could learn to control if they studied hard enough, or, in Oriana's case, if you were just born lucky. But looking at it now, there is one. And there was one person in Nidum, a very old, wise old woman, who could perform this spell once a day in the event that the crops weren't getting enough water in a particularly hot spring or summer, in a drought, if it was too cold and a blizzard threatened the lives of some of the residents of Nidum. In very dire circumstances, this woman could be called on to cast Control Weather.
Okay.
It could make an effect like this.
How long would that spell last for?
With that Arcana check, you know exactly. A spell of the 8th circle, as the wizards would call it, as this one was, could last for 8 hours at a time.
I'll relate to Oriana. I don't know, go, if it only lasts for 8 hours, I figure we stay parked for the 8 hours and then proceed in. It can't be something they can cast again so soon afterwards. It's,
They've got somebody else who can cast it.
then we hit a problem, but
No,
the very
we'll
least-
wait and see. We've got to rest anyway.
and if worst comes to worst, we will have to go and find who is casting the storm. But if we
So we wait it out.
park up on the Lake of Sadness, I'm sorry, Aurelia called it a depression, and it's
Oh, right.
It's a lake in a
not
depression.
actually called that.
no, but it is now.
As you look down now, the lake is perhaps maybe 500 feet away. And the mountains do
Sadness.
start to rise up around the airship as you go down into the...
We'll park up there, wait for the storm to pass, and then carry on.
Sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right, once we're over the lake
Mhm.
to test the wings, I want to jump off the side. But when we're about 60 feet above the water.
What, so it doesn't feel like concrete when you hit it?
If I hit it, if the wings don't work, thank you. I'm confident in my
You.
I'm confident in my crafting.
Okay. As the airship then begins to circle, slowing down, making its way down and down and down in a long corkscrew towards the surface of the water, when you're maybe 60 feet above it, then you leap off the side of the ship.
Yeah.
And with a thought, instead of asking the wings to extend, you mentally command your armor to shift, to provide you with wings. And after a second of free fall, you begin to glide. As the wings behind you, they are changed. Whereas previously the box they were housed in, and the arms of the wings themselves, and the blades were all adamantine. Now, the arms are the same beautiful burnished bronze of the liquid elements of your armor. The blades themselves, then, seem to have, like real feathers, a spine of burnished bronze, but the feathers themselves are still the same beautiful, polished to a shine adamantine. They can still be fired, and they can be used as many times a day as you like, for as long as you like. You now have a flying speed equal to your normal movement speed, if that is increased.
Well, anyway.
If it yeah. Yes, but it was at the time, because it was a separate magical item. If your walking speed had been magically enhanced, your flying speed would have remained the same as the item's maximum, which was limited to the item. Now, because it is a natural part of, effectively, you, as your magical armor, if you have your speed magically enhanced, that will translate to your flight as well.
Sure. Bless you.
That's great.
But yes, you begin to somersault through the air, flying as easily as if the wings were a natural extension of yourself, until the ship eventually touches down on the surface of the water. And it rests.
Can I drop down and fold the wings like about 5 feet away from the water and just dive into the water? I want to see if I can see anything underneath the water that we should be worried about.
Okay.
It's acid.
Fully acid.
Yeah, this isn't something caused by erosion, this depression in the rock. It's a massive pool of acid that's slowly eating its way down through the mountain.
I hope not.
It's actually green lava.
I just came back and all I heard was, and it's acid. And I'm like, oh.
I just jumped into the lake.
I just jumped into the lake to go and have a look under the water, that was all. And Bri decided, no, he's winding me up, I think.
It's not. As you dive in, then, you have never been so cold. Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
It's a mountain lake.
Yep. I'm alright. I'll be alright. Yeah, that's 17.
17. Mm-hmm. Your teeth begin to chatter to the point where you want to force your mouth open and inhale air, but you just manage to stop yourself from choking on the frozen, frigid mountain water. This is a mountain lake. It surprises you. It's so cold, it surprises you now when you think back on it, that when you dived into it, the surface of it wasn't frozen solid. It is incredibly cold. But as a taste of it passes your lips, you have never in your life tasted water so fresh, so clean, so pure.
Evian.
Livion.
Not a sponsor.
Nice of the Beholder, brought to you by Evian.
Evian.
Okay. In a bid to spend a little bit of time having a look around under this underwater lake, because I can.
Roll me a
not
perception
too far
check,
away. Okay. I was going to do something first.
Oh, no, do that first then. Do what you were going to do first. I apologise.
I was just going to cast water breathing on myself.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I don't, die. So water breathing. There we go. I cast it. That's nice. Oh, but I forgot to take a long rest between heat metal and water. I'll do it in a minute. No, I'll just take one of the slots off. It's fine. There we go.
Okay.
And my perception check is 16 plus 6, 21.
Okay. You can open your mouth now then, and as you start to breathe, the strange sensation of the water pouring into your throat, you almost gag. Knowing, like, instinctively that you should, because you are drowning, surely. Until suddenly, your chest relaxes, and you can breathe just as easily under the water as you could above. Roll me a perception check.
That 16 plus 6, 21. I did roll it. You were still describing, and I didn't realise I was muted, and I responded, and
That's
then
okay.
I said, I did! Yeah.
Okay. You chose a good moment to come and have a look under the water. The sun is at its apex. It is almost exactly midday. The sun is at its highest point and beaming straight down at you. Therefore, the light it gives you under the water, while it is hampering, you can't see as far as you could above water on a clear day. You can see the bottom. It is about 60 feet below. It is mainly made up of jagged rock. As you see these cliffs and mountains around that surround you, all seem to come to a point below you, as if they've grown up out of this water. Apart from that, there is very little to find below the water here.
Fair enough. I will swim back out. I'll make sure I give it like a solid 3 minutes, though, far longer than... Just longer than I would normally be able to breathe underwater for my own entertainment.
Okay.
But I'll amble slowly out of the water and then fly back up to the ship.
The rest of you, after the ship has touched down, do begin to get a little worried.
Yeah, the Reverend's definitely very, very nervous. It's probably starting to strip down to jump into the lake.
It's okay.
Ori fully knows that Dice has this spell, because we've used it before.
She's been under a little too long, I think.
No, she has a spell for that.
Oh. Well.
I'm more worried about the temperature, but I can dry her off when she comes back. I won't be able to... Well, I can warm her up. I just might damage her as I do.
I don't know if she'd thank you for that.
Probably not. But she shouldn't be much longer.
Okay.
And it is at that moment that you do get out of the water, Dice.
There she is!
And then I'll jump up and fly back up and go, "You're silly."
I'll cast Prestidigitation to dry you, but it won't warm you.
I
It'll
will.
just dry you.
I just wrap myself around you.
Oh no,
using
your
the-
metal! It's all cold metal!
Cold metal.
No!
Shh,
No,
Ariana.
no.
You're very warm. Shh, stop inching.
No, I will set myself on fire.
Then I will be very warm.
Is everybody okay?
Sure. And there's no monsters underneath us, as far as I could tell. So nothing's going to come up and try and eat us.
Is that what you were doing? You were jumping in to see if there was... Okay.
I was trying to make sure
truly
that
is a relief.
the airship would be safe. I didn't want us camping somewhere and then in the night finding out there's actually like a kraken or something in the water. I don't know how it would get here, to be honest, but, you know. We found Gribblies in the water before.
I know. We've fought Gribblies underwater before.
Reverend, from what you've heard about krakens, because they're definitely a thing in Gracia,
Yeah.
it wouldn't fit.
I don't know how one would squeeze a kraken into a lake this size.
What's it, an itty baby one?
Baby kraken. That's how we would do it.
That's not how the gods make them.
I'm not sure how you would get one up here, but
No, I'm pretty sure they're sea creatures, aren't they? Not lake creatures.
I mean, never say never, I suppose.
Something like a kelpie, whatever. Something that could screw with the boat. I
It
just
ain't
thought
every
of it
day
like
that you run into people who can breathe underwater.
Oh, well, I can make you breathe underwater if you'd like to go for a walk. It's
No,
very cold.
no, I'm quite alright, thank you.
At any time, though, if you ever want to go for a walk under the water, we can do that. Or I can make you walk on the top of the water.
I appreciate the offer.
There's a lot of things that we have spells for.
Like a lot.
I'm starting to see that. I have a little magic myself, but it's mostly well, you know, healing, helping, that sort of thing.
Well, Reverend, we could use a little more healing and helping. I can do some healing. Ace can do some healing. But more healing is always good.
Healing.
Sorry, Ori. Yes, of course you can. I pat Ori and go, I'm very sorry. And I'm still wrapped
I
around
can only
Ori.
do very little healing. And
I'm still wrapped around Ori like a human.
I'm still mostly...
limpet.
You are very cold.
I love you.
Go sit by the fire, please.
I love you.
Go.
Dice,
I'm warmed up.
Dice, you hear a voice in you're fucking not. You hear a voice in your head. Dice, I have some affection for you as my savior and I believe a friend. I think you should listen to Oriana. And the deck of the boat opens and the brazier lifts.
Oh,
And
Aurelia, you are a genius.
And it suddenly ignites with what looks like dancing green and blue flames coming from the logs, as if they've been gathered specifically for the aesthetic. But most of the wood being burned in the brazier is driftwood.
It's so pretty! And I'm going to thank you, Aurelia. And obviously you hear the thank you, Aurelia out loud. And I'm going to go sit next to her. Aurelia is the golden dragon who flies the ship.
Well, her spirit does.
Well,
there's not actually a dragon downstairs.
No, but she is still a golden dragon.
I see.
Dice can hear her and converse with her. The rest of us can't.
She's a friend.
Y'all have quite a lot going on.
Yeah.
Sure do. You should have seen the list of things we had to do in Paras when we got there. Steal an airship, something about the Inquisition, free all the gnomes, deal with Jairus' son.
Yeah, we did all of that.
We did. We did all of it to get your crown back.
We ticked off quite a lot of our checklist. I got my crown. Oh, I did not tell you that my brother contacted me about that.
Oh yeah? What did he say?
He's big mad.
Well, then he should have gone to get the crown.
Yeah, I'm very much taking finders keepers on this.
You realise that might not leave you with much of a relationship.
Oh, there's no relationship. He's made that incredibly clear that he was using me.
Ari, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I grew up without him. He's just an inconvenience now.
You're my sibling, and I'll
I know.
bump Ori gently.
I have a family I chose, and it's better.
I'm sorry, your brother's not everything you'd want him to be.
He's not even that. I never really... I don't know. I never thought I had a brother, so I had nothing to compare to. Closest I had is Ace.
I see.
Do you have any siblings, Rev?
No.
Any parents or family?
No.
Sorry to hear that.
Same. Well, I say same. I have an adopted grandmother.
I've
She's
been on
old.
my own a long while now. It don't bother me none.
Well,
You can make friends along the way instead.
That's been my experience.
Maybe one day I'll introduce you to Granny.
she'd adopt you and then hit you with a spoon.
She wouldn't hit him with a spoon. He's too well behaved.
You're right.
The spoon
never
was
hit-
for me.
Never hit me with a spoon.
No, you were too well behaved.
Grannies do tend to like me.
Do they now?
I mean, 'cause
Ignore me, Reverend. I'm a terrible influence.
Ace is nodding, and Ace, is nodding vigorously in the background.
Don't take a word I say serious. Well, don't take some of my words seriously, but
Ace is now shaking their head vigorously in the background.
I think just because I try to be courteous and respectful, not what you seem to be.
my granny would adore
Hey, look,
you
that's
for
some
being
interest.
such a polite gentleman.
That's an interesting view over there. I think I'll go take a look at it.
I want to know what he thinks you are.
Walks away a little bit.
Olga? I don't know.
The
Sometimes.
Reverend is now looking at the very interesting section of Brock and Cliff that looks exactly like the 360 view of the...
I'm going for a walk over to whatever the vantage point I can see furthest from,
Okay.
and looking out to see if I can see any interesting
Oh, Dice, I'm being spoilt.
features in the distance.
I have now got the Reverend and Ace to tease.
I know, this is actually kind of unfortunate. Don't let the power go to your head.
Never.
How would we tell if the Reverend was blushing?
I don't know. Can you pull the fur apart?
It might be a little rude to go up to someone we barely know and go, "Excuse me for a minute." Me to
Roll
part your fur.
roll an insight check as you ask that question, as you look at the Reverend.
Which one of us? Me? You, Ori?
Either of you. Both of you. Sure.
Both of you? Oh,
15.
8. I've got many skills. This ain't one of them.
I can tell when someone's blushing.
Oriana, as you look at the Reverend, it is very similar to Quill. Could be their shared ancestry, perhaps. But there was a twitch of the whiskers as they perhaps stumbled over their words to explain themselves to you. There are, and you learned them from Quill, you're pretty sure a few of them will apply to the Reverend, but they're signifiers to when you get under their fur.
So to speak.
I'll know.
You'll know.
The Reverend is an interesting person. Do you think we can trust them?
I think so. Hades did tell me to keep an eye on him.
Oh. Well, I trust Hades.
Yeah. I mean, he's not running around in a sack of fabric claiming mountains don't exist. Oh, that was the other thing. So, the whole strings, people's lives, fates cutting them.
Yep.
Zapsis has disappeared.
Disappeared or was cut?
It disappeared. They can't cut it. They can't find it to cut it.
Is it weird that I'm not really surprised?
No. Who knows what sort of deals they were making with who?
Sepsis.
With whom?
Whom? Where else?
Yeah, I know, you know! Duh!
Sepsis was an interesting little creature.
Demented little creature.
They weren't that bad, that's the thing. But I don't know what they were
I'm
doing.
pretty sure they were running around murdering people.
How?
Just the vibe.
They just had a vibe.
There's a vibe.
Call of a...
I mean, to be fair, reading the Book of Vile Darkness, as Marcus called it. Did I
Exactly.
tell you about the conversation I had with Marcus? He told me what the book was that Sepsis read, and I'm going to explain what Marcus said, and the black eyes, and the thing with the book.
Yeah, that's his dodgy vibe.
You think Marcus is a dodgy vibe?
Well, I'm not talking about Marcus. I still don't know what I think about him.
Ass, but he's an ass who was trying to do the right thing. That pretty much sums it up for me.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes we're assholes and we're trying to do the right thing. Most of the time.
We haven't lied to generations of children to keep them in a village.
No, but we did accidentally, as a group, collectively, I mean, shake up many cities and towns, change things, destroy things that some people will not think were for the better.
Perhaps. Look, I just need somebody to blame for the shit show that we're in, and I've chosen him.
Do you know what? He wouldn't even mind. That's what makes it harder, I think.
Yeah.
He was very apologetic when I was talking to him, and it made me want to hit him on the head with something. Hey, Reverend, did you find anything nice on that rock?
Reverend, roll me
yeah.
a perception check.
Yes.
As you now actually decide to properly look, instead of just avoid an awkward conversation.
16.
16. Okay.
Not
Yeah,
bad.
it's not good, considering that I have +9 and advantage.
To be fair, there is not much to see. As you were looking around, each cliff face looks very similar to the other one, apart from the one dotted with caves much higher up, maybe 100 feet above you, that you did spy when you were looking down onto this lake previously. Now you are closer, and it may be the vantage point below, but the cliffs, or the caves, do appear to extend further back into the darkness, into the cliff face itself. And what you first take as bushes, perhaps, growing from the dampness inside the caves, as your eyes adjust, and you focus your attention on them completely, they appear to be an odd collection of materials. Rubbish, twigs, wood, haphazardly thrown together, littered with feathers, almost like nests. And as you realize this, all of you, not just you, Reverend, begins to hear a haunting but also quite enchanting song coming from 4 of the caves. As bursting from them, their humanoid forms being held aloft in the air by strong, heavily feathered arms. Their horrid faces, their mouths screaming and screeching and extending impossibly wide. Come 10 heavily feathered harpies.
As a reaction, just before we have go into initiative, can I just go, oh look, I looked in the wrong place.
Do we need to fight
You
them?
can, and on that note, we're going to leave it there.
Hey!
Hey.
We're going to leave it there for the evening on that.
Gosh, I wonder what we'll be doing first next week.
But yes, session 86 was supposed to be midweek, but, you know, it was a fucking long week, man. We have 5 kids this weekend.
Weekend.
I'm also now heavily pregnant.
Heavily.
Yeah.
Like so
I
heavily.
I could
Emphasis
go
on the
any
heavy.
day, and I really hope I go soon.
I'd like
And
you
then-
to go tonight, preferably, so I don't have to go to work tomorrow.
I mean, could I sleep for a bit first?
And then, just so everyone's
If you
aware,
went- I mean, if you
Early
start
hours in
going
the
in the
morning?
morning, that'd be fine as well, as long as it's before I have to sign into work.
we've told you this, guys, before, but obviously when Charlie does have the baby, then we are going to disappear for a bit. And we don't know how long.
A little bit of a break. We
There's-
don't.
A little bit of a hiatus.
There's going to be
We
a
don't know how long,
hiatus.
but yeah. We just want to keep saying this to make sure everyone knows. But
We'll still
Shouldn't be
stream, it
too
just
long.
won't be
It
Chronicles
won't be
of
D&D.
Nidum.
no, and some days are still going to be reserved for us. So
We'll do something.
once we can come back, we will.
I have an idea for
What a shock.
a couple of like new players to run through something that's not D&D. I have an idea. I'll get back to AD on this, and we've discussed it before. I have an idea,
How mysterious.
and I'm very much
just to
looking
run
forward to
something
it.
to fill the gap for a little bit until you guys are ready to come back.
He's going to replace us, Charlie.
Sorry, it's also replacing me because it's not a game I
I
want to
have
play.
this that I am dealing with.
I mean, look.
Which is why
Look
if you see me shifting around and pulling faces in
Look
my
at them.
chair,
Look at him! No, it's down there.
He's a
Look at
big
him up.
bump.
Look at him up.
He's a big old bump.
yeah, it's because this little man is moving around quite a bit, but not in the direction I want him to.
Baby! Yeah, it is
Yeah.
such a big baby now.
Big old bump now.
Big old bump.
It's amazing. Because I only get to see it on camera like once a week or so. It's gone like this. Boop, 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 boop.
And then dropped a little bit, because his head is, top part of his head is, or was engaged on Monday, so he could be more engaged. It definitely feels like he's more engaged now.
Oh, he headbutted you in the cervix yesterday.
Earlier today.
Earlier
Babies are
today,
the best.
You're right,
guys.
that's when I was making lunch, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was making lunch today, and I had to throw myself off the settee to get him to stop. It really hurts. It's a good
Pregnancy
sign,
is
but it really hurts.
beautiful. Pregnancy is a beautiful time, everyone
It's
watching this.
shit.
Before you ask, though, Greg, the introduction of a brand new character is not enough of a milestone to level up.
Oh, do you think?
No, yeah, I do.
like
I,
the
I
Reverend.
respectfully disagree.
But
I
I
like the Reverend.
I
I
do.
am excited to travel with the Reverend.
The thing with the rock? Oh! Do I see you in the rock?
I'm trying to. Yeah, it's an interesting one because I haven't really ever used intelligence as a dump stat, except with one character, and I didn't really roleplay it that way. But like the reference is going to be an interesting one for me to roleplay because he's high wisdom, low intelligence.
He is wise. He is not smart.
I'm so
Yeah.
glad. I've been saying, like, since I knew about this character, I've been saying to Amelia, I hope he does an accent. I hope he does the accent. I so hope he does the accent. And Amelia's like, if he doesn't want to, he won't. I don't think he will. And I was just like, please let him do the accent, please. And you were just like, howdy. Yes!
I'm not exactly an accent expert, so
I like it.
It's really
forgive
cute.
me,
I love
Kat.
it.
I am confused about the American accent coming from Gracia, but fantasy world.
Fantasy
Yeah.
world, who cares?
I'm confused about the Charlem accent coming from South Kemria.
Yeah,
from
Kemria.
Night-
Guys was raised by their Charlem parents.
Yeah,
but
my
in,
parents.
You've got a Kent
In a
accent living in
Kemrian
Wales.
town. Have I?
It used to. It's gotten more Welsh recently. I think as you've been learning Welsh.
Well, yeah, but it's also like it hasn't really been a Kentish accent. It doesn't matter. This is all immaterial. Bright, take us out.
Oh, hang
Yes.
Carrots are for your eyes. Why can't they use the phone?
on. I don't know.
That doesn't. Does that make?
But I would like to know the answer.
I'm very confused.
If carrots are good for your eyes, why can't they use the phone? Carrots are good for
That's
your
for your
eyes.
ears. I don't know.
Same for your ears. I don't know why carrots can't use the phone. I don't know. I was asking you.
Okay.
But yes,
Great, thanks. We don't
as-
know.
as always, thank you very much for joining us this evening for episode 86 of the Chronicles of Nidum.
His
It
phones
is
are made of bananas.
It is going to be quite a while until this is available on podcast, but it will be available in about, let's say, 5 days' time on our YouTube channel, where you can, if you haven't already, still catch up with the previous 85 episodes. I apologise for the sound quality in the first few.
You get to see all 2 of my previous characters.
Yes, you get to go through Greg's amazing previous characters and experience the wonders of the rest of them as they worked out exactly who they were. But please, if you haven't, go back. It is well worth it. This has been a very fun story. Or if podcast is easier for you, the first 14 episodes are now available on Spotify. Just search Dice of the Beholder. Apart from that, though, join me and Amelia, the player of Dice, tomorrow on this channel at around about, I believe, 7:30 for episode 3. Episode 3.
8. Starts at 8.
8 o'clock for episode 3 of When Glory Is Not Enough, the new homebrew campaign being run by the owner of this channel, Heavyweight himself, and I get to play, which I don't get to very often, and it's been very fun so far. I just love poking every big red button that I see. It's great.
I've already nearly died twice.
Yeah.
Bry's nearly died once. It's going well.
Everything, always my fault. But yes, so please join us tomorrow. Apart from that, though, as always, take care, stay safe, look after each other. We love this community.
Is somebody new instantly going on about your beard again?
Yeah,
You've got
Yeah.
a great beard.
thank you.
It's an amazing beard. It brings people in, really.
It's a great
It's the main
beard.
character of the stream.
Yeah.
But apart from that, we love you guys, and we'll see you next time. Good night, everyone.
Bye.